The story begins with a girl and her mother. Her mother always told her to be honest because honesty leads to goodness and goodness brings happiness. The girl believed it completely, but life didn't agree. One day, her honesty got her killed. She wakes up on the ground in a different universe. A demon-like creature with horns walks up and tells her not to lie there or her clothes will get dirty and she might catch a cold. She looks up at him, feeling like she could be useful to him in this new place. He leans down and kisses her. She presses her hands against the ground, flustered, and says he told her not to lie there. He grins and says, "I did, but you're too cute. Let's take this somewhere better, like my place." The scene opens in her boss's office. She's sitting across from him as he delivers the news. She's losing her job. Stunned, she stares at him, trying to process. Didn't she just help the company by exposing a major issue? Her boss leans forward and explains that the person she reported is an important figure in the company. He asks if she understands how much the company could lose if those people face consequences. She tries to explain herself, saying she only did what was right, but he cuts her off and says it's better if she leaves quietly. He even adds, "You should be thankful it's ending here." With a forced smile, he wishes her well and tells her to be careful on her way home. Later that evening, she's walking home feeling defeated. Her thoughts are racing as she wonders how things got so unfair. People who do wrong walk free, while those who speak up face the consequences. Frustrated, she shouts into the night, "Life isn't fair." It feels strangely good, and she's relieved no one is around to hear her. She thinks about how she could never work in a place so corrupt. As she walks through a dark alley, someone comes up behind her and hits her hard. She falls to the ground, feeling pain and confusion. The man tells her she made a mistake by speaking out. Before she can react, he attacks her again and leaves her injured. She lies there in the cold, bleeding, as snow begins to fall. Her mind is overwhelmed with thoughts. Was she supposed to stay silent and accept corruption? No, that's not who she is. She remembers the promise she made to stand up against injustice. In her mind, she sees the doll her mother gave her, almost as if it's telling her to stay strong and keep fighting. The doll tells her to open her eyes and decide how she wants to live. When she does, she finds herself in a beautifully furnished room. She looks around, confused but impressed. Her clothes are elegant, her wounds still hurt, and she remembers being attacked. She wonders if the room belongs to the person who saved her and decides they must be rich. As she walks toward a wardrobe to look for her bag, she catches her reflection in a mirror and freezes. Her hair is blue, long enough to nearly touch the floor, her eyes are a different color, and her body looks slightly older and stronger. The door opens and a tall man with horns walks in. She greets him nervously, assuming he saved her. He asks how she's feeling, towering over her with his pointy ears and massive frame. She asks who he is, and he sighs, telling her not to mess with him. She thinks she's being serious, but he seems frustrated. He mutters about her being attacked, reaches out to check her head, and moves his hand lower to check her injuries. Shocked, she slaps him hard, hurting her own hand more than his face. He looks at her calmly and tells her to take it easy. Flustered, she says he shouldn't touch her when she doesn't even know him. He frowns, clearly irritated, and asks if she's serious. She insists she doesn't know him. Frustrated, he calls for a doctor, muttering about something being wrong with her. A tall, friendly-looking woman enters the room. Relieved, she asks to talk to the doctor alone. The man hesitates but eventually steps out after some persuasion. The next morning, she wakes up suddenly, thinking she's late for work, only to remember she's already been fired. She sighs and lies back down, but then it hits her. Work shouldn't even be her main concern right now. She jumps up, touching her face and wondering if she's still dreaming. A knock on the door startles her. She's scared it might be him. A voice asks to come in, and she recognizes it as the doctor's. She tells her to enter. Chloe steps in and says she'll examine her now, asking for her permission. She agrees, and Chloe removes the bandages, mentioning how well her healing spell worked. The word spell makes her pause, but she doesn't interrupt. Chloe asks if she remembers anything yet, and when she says no, the doctor reintroduces herself, explaining that she's her personal doctor, assigned by Master Lex. She also explains that she's a pixie and can use various spells, including healing. The girl listens, confused, unable to recall anything. Chloe tells her not to force it, suggesting she take things slow. She hands her breakfast and advises her to eat, take a warm bath, and rest. Standing on the balcony later, she watches the snow fall and people pass by. She notices everyone down below has horns like Lex and thinks about how he might come back. The breakfast was good, but her mind is too full to enjoy it. She remembers Lex calling her his fiancé and decides she needs to run away. He's too terrifying to stay near. Out of nowhere, a stone flies past her face. Looking down, she sees demons throwing stones at her, calling her a fairy and mocking her. She's too stunned to move, fearing they'll hurt her. Suddenly, a hand grabs her from behind and pulls her inside. It's Lex. He shuts the door and kneels in front of her. "Are you okay?" he asks. She's sitting on the floor, curled up tightly, still trembling in fear. The next morning, she wakes up suddenly thinking she's late for work. Then she remembers she doesn't even have a job anymore. She sighs, deciding to go back to sleep, but something snaps her out of it. She jumps up, realizing that work should be the least of her worries right now. She touches her face, wondering if this is all just a weird dream. A knock on the door interrupts her thoughts, making her heart race. What if it's him? The voice that follows is softer. It's the doctor's. Relieved, she tells her to come in. Chloe walks in and says it's time to examine her, asking if it's okay. She nods, and Chloe carefully removes the bandages, mentioning how powerful her healing spell is. The word spell catches her off guard, but she stays quiet. Chloe notices her confusion and asks if she remembers anything yet. When she shakes her head, Chloe introduces herself again, explaining she's her personal doctor assigned by Master Lex. She also mentions that she's a pixie with magical abilities like healing spells. The girl listens, completely lost, unable to recall anything. Chloe tells her not to stress about remembering everything at once and suggests taking things slow. She gives her breakfast, advising her to eat, take a warm bath, and rest. The kindness eases her nerves a bit, and she feels grateful for Chloe's calm demeanor. Later, she steps onto the balcony on the second floor, watching the snow fall. The cold bites at her, but she tells herself she'll head back inside soon. She looks down at the street and notices that everyone walking by has horns, just like Lex. Her thoughts drift to him. He's bound to show up again. She tries to focus on the food Chloe brought. It tastes good, but her mind won't let her enjoy it. Lex calling her his fiancé keeps replaying in her head. She decides it's all too much. Running away might be her only option. Suddenly, a stone whizzes past her face. Startled, she looks down and sees a group of demons throwing stones at her, calling her the fairy from yesterday. They laugh as they aim for her again. Fear freezes her in place as she wonders if they'll hurt her. Before she can react, a hand grabs her from behind and pulls her inside. It's Lex. He looks her over quickly and asks if she's okay. Shaken, she sits on the floor, hugging her knees tightly, trembling from both fear and shock. She asks him why they're attacking her. He tells her that they're people who despise witches and pixies, but assures her that he'll send soldiers to deal with them. He tells her not to open the door again and, as he walks away, says he'll be back soon. She watches him go. He's scary, but at least he seems nicer than the people outside. Taking Chloe's advice, she decides to calm down. Stepping into the bathroom, she can't help but admire its elegance. Everything is so detailed, so luxurious, and it makes her feel a little calmer. She sinks into the warm water, letting the soothing heat relax her. It's the first time in a while she feels like she can breathe. As she leans back, her mind starts to piece things together. She tries to remember when all of this started. The day she was fired from her job. She had reported a corruption scheme, thinking she was doing the right thing, but instead, she lost everything. Then, the attack. Someone had stabbed her, and she had been certain she was going to die. But somehow, here she is, alive and in this strange new place. And Lex, he had told her she was his fiancé. She still can't wrap her head around that. He also mentioned her helping him kill evildoers. The more she thinks about it, the more confused she becomes. Deciding to stop overthinking, she lets it go for now. There's no logic to any of this, and trying to make sense of it is giving her a headache. For now, she just wants to relax in the bath. There are still so many questions in her mind. How did she even end up here? What's her next step? How does she get back to her world? And even if she does, will they just try to kill her again? She's unemployed, no job to return to. Nothing. Everything feels like it's spiraling out of control, and she has no idea how to fix it. Suddenly, the door creaks open. Her heart skips a beat. Lex steps in, looking calm as usual. He glances at her and says he's glad she's still here, his voice a little softer than before. She's shocked that he just walked in like that. She immediately starts splashing water at him, telling him to leave. He tries to calm her down, explaining why he's there, but she doesn't want to listen. She keeps splashing him, shouting for him to go away. Now drenched, he grabs her hand and asks if she got him all wet so he would bathe with her. She quickly says no. He's still holding her hand, and she gets so nervous she starts shivering. He notices and lets go. He tells her reaction is making him sad. Despite how she's reacting, he says he's still going to finish his bath since she got him all wet. He starts undressing. She can't believe what she's seeing and immediately turns away, covering her eyes. She asks why he's taking his clothes off in front of her. He casually replies that she's already used to seeing it. This is just the first time she's seeing it up close. She remembers seeing it online, but this is way different. He notices she's still covering her eyes and tells her she'll have to get used to it. She insists she can't. Procents. Standing up from the tub, she says she's going to change in her room and warns him not to try to follow. He agrees as she walks away, wrapping a towel around herself. After some time, he walks into the room. She's already dressed, but he's still wrapped in a towel. She asks why he hasn't changed yet. He reminds her that his clothes are soaked because of her. She suggests he wear something else instead. As she sits down, she starts complaining about her situation, blaming everything on him, the male lead. She talks about feeling trapped and how she's sure she'll be eaten alive and die in this strange place. He overhears her and laughs at her dramatic take on what he said the day before. She turns to him annoyed and asks if he finds her fear funny. He's calm now and explains that she misunderstood him. When he said eating her, he didn't mean it the way she thought. Before she can process his words, he leans in and kisses her. Suddenly, she understands what he meant, but she's not ready for this. She pulls back and asks him to stop. She tells him that she doesn't know him and isn't comfortable with it. He steps back, sadness in his eyes, and asks how long she plans to keep her distance. She looks at him, noticing the sorrow on his face. He starts to walk away, giving her space. She feels a pang of sympathy for him. He seems to genuinely care for her in this world, but she's still confused. She doesn't know him and doesn't know how to handle any of this. He turns to her and introduces himself. He's the Demon King, Alexander Thammuz, but he tells her to call him Lex. She's surprised by the sudden introduction, but tells him her name is Lily Astor. He already knows that, of course. He then tells her she's his fiancé, which shocks her. She's been single for 28 years in her previous world and can't believe she suddenly has a fiancé here. She chides herself, thinking she can't be proud of that, especially since her so-called fiancé is a demon. She asks him why she should marry him. He tells her there are many reasons, but the most important one is that he needs her to help cleanse the demon realm of evil. He explains that he wants to change the image people have of demons, who are often seen as nothing but evil. He adds that he wants his realm to be free of that evil. As he speaks, she realizes they share the same view. He continues, saying that she used to have a spell that could detect evil before it happened. She's surprised. She can't believe her ears. He tells her she had a lot of powerful spells at her disposal. He asks if she remembers how to cast the most basic one, but she says no. He's not surprised and tells her it would have taken a long time to master, and then, just as she did, they attacked her. He believes she needs to start learning magic from scratch since she's forgotten everything. She's starting to understand little by little. She asks if she was attacked because she tried to make the country better. He confirms that. She sees the similarities. It's just like her old world. She tells him she hates evil too and offers her help. It would be nice to use a spell like that. There was no magic in her old world, so here would be totally different, a new experience. She says she has to be able to use that spell again. He's glad they share the same opinion, at least in that regard. He smiles and tells her there's another important thing she needs to know. Their wedding is in a week. This news shocks her. She agrees that she hates evildoers, so she'll gladly help him, but she thinks they're moving too fast. She says they don't need to get married just yet. He looks at her, almost in disbelief. He tells her the wedding has been planned for a long time, so it wouldn't be appropriate to delay it any further. He then adds that there's another reason they should marry. He has a ring that can protect her, but it can only be used once they're married. He continues, telling her that even though she doesn't remember him or love him, the marriage must still happen. Holding her hand, he says he doesn't want to see her hurt again. She looks at him, speechless, and says she has a lot of questions but doesn't even know where to begin. He tells her she can ask anything. First, she asks who she is. He tells her she's a pixie. She asks again if demons can marry someone like her. He answers yes, there are many interracial marriages. She raises a concern about their size difference, and he smiles, reassuring her not to worry. He tells her they've done it before. She's confused and says she doesn't understand. He tries to explain, but she refuses to agree. "I've never done it before," she says. He kisses her hair and expresses how grateful he is that she's still alive. He confesses he can't live without her. Holding her face, he says that despite everything, how she acts and expresses herself hasn't changed, even though she must have forgotten. She likes the way he's being kind, but suddenly he becomes furious. "Losing your memory is something I can never forgive," he says. He adds that he's already taken the life of the person who hurt her. She looks at him, feeling a chill, and starts to feel less impressed with his kindness. Now he's starting to look scary. She doesn't believe he actually killed them. "Wasn't that too harsh?" she asks. He tells her there's no mercy for anyone who tries to harm her. She still doesn't think it was the right call, believing there must have been another way to punish them. He remains firm, saying his actions were justified. She asks who the people were, wondering if she knew them. "Did I do something wrong?" she asks. He assures her that she didn't do anything wrong, explaining that the person who attacked her was a follower of the old order. He goes on to explain that the old demonic order taught that if you wanted something, you had to take it by force. But ever since his father took over, the law changed. Most citizens prefer the new order because it brought peace, and it focuses more on cooperation with other races. However, some people were dissatisfied with the change, so they formed their own group. That group targeted her because she's a pixie, she uses spells, and she's his fiancé. He tells her to stay put and not go anywhere until their wedding day, promising he'll protect her with everything he has. He becomes tired and stops, saying he wants to rest. He hasn't slept in 3 days because he's been searching for the person who hurt her. Lying down, he says he'll rest today. She asks why he's lying on her bed. He reminds her that it's also his room. She tells him they're not married yet. He looks at her, puzzled, wondering why she's being so stubborn. He says they've always slept together before, and he promised to protect her. She replies that she doesn't want to sleep with him. He's taken off his shirt again, which makes her uncomfortable. Deciding she'd rather sleep on the sofa, she starts to get up, but he grabs her hand and drags her closer. She struggles, not liking it. He tells her the more she struggles, the tighter he'll hold her. She asks why he's forcing her and what he would do if she told him she doesn't remember anything about him and has never lived in this world. He's shocked. She goes on, telling him that she doesn't belong here, that she was just a regular employee. She explains that she reported a corrupt scheme at her office, got fired, and was attacked. When she woke up, he sits up, thinking. He tells her that her storybooks must have gotten mixed up in her head. She insists she's telling the truth. Frustrated, she knows he won't believe her, and she had a feeling telling him wouldn't make a difference. He tries to make sense of the scenario she described about her old world. He says that since she got hurt because of her attitude, she should marry him. She looks at him, thinking it over. It seems like he really does care for her. It's not like she hates him either. Sure, he looks scary, but he's also quite handsome. And his body is seriously muscular and tan. He snaps her out of her thoughts. He says her eyes are practically stabbing him, asking if she remembers anything from the way she stared at him. She says no, she was just thinking, and apologizes for making him feel forgotten. He's surprised and reminds her that she's his fiancé. She says she knows, but she's just worried because she can't remember anything. He smiles and hugs her, telling her that the most important thing is that she's still alive. He held her tightly and refused to let go, saying he wouldn't risk her getting hurt again. She complained he didn't need to touch her to protect her, but he ignored her protests. She accused him of being angry because she couldn't use magic or recognize him. He calmly replied that he wasn't angry, just sad she had forgotten everything, but he promised to help her remember and make her fall for him again. When she asked what he meant by continuing to do what they'd always done, he leaned closer, teasing her. She panicked and said she didn't want to know. Amused, he laid her down, tucked her under the blanket, and told her to sleep. She protested that it was still bright out, but he insisted she should stay and keep him company while he rested. When she pointed out she'd never shared a bed with a man before, he casually replied she'd get used to it. Removing her hairpin, he reminded her to stay warm. She noticed his lack of a shirt and questioned it. He explained he always felt hot, even in winter, which was why he didn't bother buttoning his shirts properly either. She didn't bother responding, telling him good night instead. He sighed, disappointed she didn't have more questions, out, and she rolled her eyes under the blanket, already regretting agreeing to this arrangement. 15 minutes later, she was still wide awake. After all, she'd already slept too much the day before. Even with the blanket wrapped tightly around her, she felt cold. He noticed her trembling and asked what was wrong, startling her. She thought he was asleep. He admitted that with everything on his mind, sleeping wasn't so easy. She told him to turn off the AC. He looked confused and asked what she meant. When she explained, he chuckled, saying there wasn't any AC in this world. She sighed and said she just felt really cold. He smiled and told her it was because she was so small, adding that when she got cold before, she'd hug his arm while he held her close to keep her warm. Without thinking, she grabbed his arm. He blinked, surprised, as she snuggled against it. He was so warm, reminding her of the giant teddy bear she had back home. But then she stopped herself. She couldn't talk about her past life. She quickly backtracked, claiming she just remembered a doll from her memory. She asked him if she'd ever had one before. He told her she hadn't, which made her feel awkward. Turning her back to him, she wondered why she'd even hugged him in the first place. He reassured her, saying that if she remembered anything, no matter how small, she should tell him. It might be important. She agreed, and he hugged her gently, telling her to get some rest. 3 years ago, in what felt like a dream, she saw herself in a room with him. He asked if she was sad, but she shook her head and said she was happy to be with him. She added that she didn't feel alone anymore, which made him look genuinely surprised. Holding her face, he asked if she realized what it meant to share a room with him. His voice carried a playful warning as he said he wouldn't be able to stop himself from touching her. She laughed, brushing off his teasing, and said it was fine, since she loved him. He raised an eyebrow, asking if she had any other thoughts in mind. She fired back that he was the one thinking like that. She glanced around the room, taking in the dark and heavy decor. She casually mentioned that it needed some changes, something brighter, more her style. He told her it was her room too, so she could do as she liked. Still smiling, she assured him she'd always feel at ease as long as they were together. But then he asked if she wasn't bothered by how she ended up there, how he had essentially kidnapped her. She froze for a moment, visibly shaken. When he asked if she was okay, she claimed she was just tired. He didn't press further and suggested they rest. Leading her to the bed, he reminded her again, this was her space now, too. She's shocked to hear she'll actually be sharing a room with him. He confirms it, saying it's to keep her under his protection. She teases him, asking why it has to be him. He grins and replies that it's because he loves her, and because he doesn't want her escaping. Without waiting for another word, he picks her up and carries her to the bed. She insists she's not planning to run away, but he just smirks and suggests they take a bath first. In the bathroom, she finds herself scrubbing his back. His broad back feels like an endless canvas, and she can't help but complain about how much work it takes. He'd told her earlier that she didn't need to help, but she'd insisted. Leaning against him briefly, she feels the warmth of his skin and tells him they should focus on the kingdom first. There's too much chaos right now to think about anything else. He nods, agreeing, but adds that once things settle down, he plans to marry her. As they finish up, he yawns and suggests heading to bed. He's clearly exhausted, and she agrees, eager to rest after the long day. Later, lying on the bed, she gets comfortable, enjoying the soft blankets. Just as she's about to drift off, he leans over and kisses her. Startled, she reminds him he said he was sleepy. He smirks and admits that whenever she's beside him, sleep becomes impossible. He confesses he can't wait for her to become his wife. She tells him to be patient, it'll happen soon enough. But his impatience shows as he draws closer, starting to get a little too intimate. She jolts awake, heart racing. It takes her a moment to realize it was all just a dream. Everything had felt so vivid. The warmth, the closeness, the kisses. She shakes her head, trying to push the memory away. Looking over, she sees him still asleep beside her. Her cheeks flush as she remembers that, while they're sharing a bed, nothing had actually happened. She sits up and watches him briefly. He looks utterly exhausted, and she remembers he hadn't slept for 3 days while searching for her attacker. Deciding not to stare too long, she gets up and stretches. Her mind wanders to the upcoming wedding, only a few days away. She sighs, realizing she doesn't have much of a choice. It's her reality now. But she needs a distraction, anything to keep her thoughts away from the looming marriage. She tries to remember what she used to do to relax after work in her old life. Slowly, bits and pieces come back to her. Hobbies, routines, little joys. Maybe she could bring some of that into this new world. Anything to help her feel a little more like herself. She dismisses her ideas as unrealistic and heads to the wardrobe, hoping to find something interesting. She spots beautiful dresses and wonders if they're all hers, still amazed even though she'd seen them before. She checks the next wardrobe and finds brooms and cleaning supplies. Amused, she assumes he must like cleaning too. Deciding to pass time, she plans to clean the room, but changes into practical clothes first, settling for something short and tight. Relieved that he's still asleep, she begins cleaning. Hours later, the room shines. As she's putting the cleaning supplies away, she accidentally kicks over a bucket of water. Panicking, she raises her hands, and the water freezes solid. He wakes up, asking about the noise. She hesitates, confused by what just happened. He points out that her magic still works. She denies it, saying it was an accident. He encourages her to try again, bringing water for her to practice with. She reluctantly attempts, but nothing happens. He laughs, saying she just needs practice. Annoyed, she says it's impossible and insists the first time was a fluke. He tells her she used to do this often. She dismisses his claim, joking that if she could control ice, she'd freeze him for laughing. He quickly stops, but the amused look on his face remains. He asks why she's wearing those clothes, calling it a school uniform. Surprised, she explains she didn't realize it was a uniform and only picked it because it had a short skirt, which made cleaning easier. She tells him she wanted to keep busy and loves cleaning. He smiles, saying her love for cleaning hasn't changed, and adds that she even stored cleaning supplies in the wardrobe herself. Shocked, she can't believe it was her doing. He offers to get her more short skirts if she wants, but she quickly refuses, asking instead for sewing equipment and fabrics. Amused, he leads her to a closet filled with needles, threads, and fabrics she had apparently hoarded before. As she sorts through the supplies, she thinks about sewing clothes inspired by her old world, princess-like dresses she loved from Sunday cartoons, but also comfortable everyday outfits. Grinning, he says if she makes short skirts, but she'd better wear them only in their room. He wraps his arms around her, teasing that her school uniform looks even more attractive on her now, probably because it fits tightly in certain areas. She pushes him away, flustered, insisting she's never been comfortable wearing short skirts outside anyway. He feels relieved and claims he's the only one allowed to see her in outfits like that. He's still holding her and jokingly wonders if part of her body grew bigger since the uniform looks so snug. She scolds him to stop, but he laughs and says her voice is too sweet, warning her he could pounce at any moment. Embarrassed and uncomfortable, she tries to pull away. Suddenly, his stomach growls loudly, breaking the tension. Trying to save face, he stands up, announcing he'll ask the servants to bring food. She raises an eyebrow and teases him, saying, "For someone who claims to be dangerous, your biggest weakness seems to be an empty stomach." She tells him she'll go take a bath first. He smirks and asks if she wants him to join her. She quickly shuts him down, saying he's not allowed in the bathroom without her permission. He teases her, telling her to lock the door then. She agrees, but suddenly remembers the lock is too high for her to reach. Embarrassed, she begs him to stop teasing. He laughs and says it's hard to stop when she's so beautiful. Later, as they eat, she takes a bite and comments that the food is amazing. He grins proudly, claiming it should be since they have the best cooks in the world. She studies him, her gaze lingering, making him pause. He asks if something's wrong. She tilts her head and asks if he's really a king. Confused, he nods and asks why she's questioning it. She chuckles, pointing out how unkingly he seems, sitting on the floor to eat, licking his fingers and acting so casual. He laughs, clearly amused, and says he doesn't need to act formal when it's just the two of them. If it bothers her, though, he promises to try being more kingly. She shakes her head, saying there's no need. It's his home, and he should feel comfortable. She's just a guest. As she watches him, she thinks he acts more like a mafia boss than a king. He catches her expression and chuckles, admitting he wouldn't have chosen to be king if he'd had a choice. Being a regular citizen would have been easier. Taking care of people, he says, can be exhausting, but then he smirks and adds, "Luckily, I'm not the kind of king who licks boots, just my fingers." He looks at her and asks if she knows what his greatest wish is. Curious, she asks him. Smiling, he tells her that his dream is to live with her in a quiet rural village, raising lots of children together. He adds that she was the one who wanted him to become king, so he could make the kingdom and the world a better place. Holding her hands, he promises to fulfill that dream, protect her, and make her happy. Even if she's forgotten, he hasn't. He hands her a book, explaining it's about the history of pixies and might help jog her memory. She takes it and promises to give it a try. Changing the subject, she asks about his plans for the day. He shrugs, saying he'll mostly laze around. Surprised, she asks why he isn't working. Grinning, he says he's technically on marriage leave, though some tasks, like finding the one who hurt her, still require his attention. She quickly changes the topic, not wanting to think about punishment or killing, and asks what she can do to help with the wedding. He assures her everything's already prepared, as they started planning long before she lost her memory. All she has to do is wait. Still curious, she asks him to explain the event. He agrees, breaking it all down for her step by step. Later, she starts reading the book, but only gets through the first page. It reads like a fantasy novel, and she can't believe something like this could exist. She wonders if this world is even real. Noticing her tired expression, he asks if it's too much for her. She admits it's overwhelming. He tells her not to push herself if it's too hard, and she agrees. Looking at the cover, she asks if she ever had wings like the pixie in the illustration. He laughs softly, telling her, "Not exactly, but you always had a way of making people believe you could fly." He tells her he's not surprised she asked about the wings. The atmosphere in the room suddenly feels heavy. She quickly adds that if the question makes him uncomfortable, he doesn't have to answer. He agrees, holding his head in his hands, the question reminding him of a terrible accident, one that was entirely his fault. His mood darkens. She tells him not to worry about her question. Though she doesn't believe she ever had wings, she doesn't really remember how it would feel to have them, so it doesn't matter. Before the conversation can continue, a knock on the door interrupts them. A voice from the other side apologizes for disturbing her rest, introducing themselves as Kenzo and Arion, saying they have something important to report to him. The male lead scratches his head, realizing his holiday has ended. He asks her who they are, then remembers she doesn't remember them either. He tells her to come along so he can introduce them again. He opens the door, and the two men stand outside. They comment that they weren't expecting the door to open so soon. Both of them bow deeply, greeting him respectfully. He tells them he hopes they've come with good news. Arion, the one with green hair, says they bring both good and bad news. The male lead asks for the bad news first. Arion explains that the bad news is that the male lead must go with them, while Kenzo will stay and keep watch. Then he moves on to the good news. Their task here will be quick, only taking an hour or two. The male lead scratches his head, saying he'll go prepare himself. Then he remembers he needs to introduce her to them. He tells her to come along so he can make the introductions. He first introduces her to Kenzo, the one with brown hair. Kenzo greets her and comments that she's even more beautiful up close. He introduces himself, mentioning he's 18 and has been here for a year, though he only joined this division a few weeks ago. She notices he's younger than her but very tall. He extends his hand for a handshake. He tells her that he heard she's suffering from amnesia, but that they've never met before. He's happy to finally meet her. The male lead looks furious and asks what Kenzo is trying to do. Kenzo quickly pulls his hand back and apologizes, explaining that he's a big fan of the male lead, so he's also a fan of the people he cares about. The male lead warns him not to touch her again or he'll be fired. Kenzo apologizes profusely. He then introduces Arion to her. Arion greets her, saying they've actually met before, though she's forgotten. He continues, explaining that he's been the male lead's advisor and guardian since he was a child, and he's seen her when she was younger as well. This surprises her. She notices that Arion doesn't have any horns like the others, and while he's still tall, his body isn't as big. He tells her he's an elf, though he has some demonic traits because of his lineage. She asks if he's older than the male lead, since he mentioned watching over him as a child. He replies that he's 7 years older than the male lead. She finds this hard to believe. He then adds with a smile that he's even had to clean up after the male lead when he was a kid. The male lead defends himself, saying it's a lie and that she shouldn't believe Arion. Our girl looks at both of them. Arion looks much younger than the male lead, and she wonders why the male lead needs guards when he's clearly much bigger than both of them. He announces that he's the strongest one there, so he doesn't truly need guards. But he says his guards are also her guards, and they're there to protect her when he can't be by her side. He tells them he'll go prepare. He's dressed and ready. He comes to her room to inform her that he's leaving. He says Kenzo will stand guard outside her room, so she should stay inside. She agrees. He asks if she wants him to bring more books. She tells him to do so, as she has nothing else to do and more books would be nice. He moves closer and tells her that he really doesn't want to go. Even though she's guarded, he's still worried about her safety. He kisses her, and she tells him to stop. He teases her, saying it's just a kiss. As he walks away, he says he'll be right back and advises her to take care of herself. She watches him leave, her heart racing. He tells Kenzo at the door to protect his fiancé. As he leaves with Arion, she watches them go. Normally, she'd feel relieved, but instead, it's as if she's lost something. She tells Kenzo she's going back to her room. He tells her to have a good rest. Just then, a maid calls out to Kenzo, saying he's needed in the servants' room. He feels reluctant and says he's assigned to her room, but the maid insists there's no time. She tells him to go, saying she'll protect our girl. Kenzo agrees and quickly leaves, apologizing to her as he goes. The maid tells her to go back to the room. As our girl turns to leave, the maid pulls out a rod and is about to strike her. They're in a dark place. 2 people are talking about the female lead. A female voice asks if they're sure they've got the right person. A male voice answers, saying yes, she's the male lead's fiancé. Our girl slowly starts to wake up. The female voice adds that she knows the person they have is the male lead's fiancé, but since she's lost her memory, she's unsure if she can still perform the task. The male voice reassures her that it's just her memory that's gone. She'll still be able to cast her spells. Our girl fully wakes up, confused. Who are these people? What's happening? She tries to move but realizes her arms and legs are tied. The man looks in her direction and says she's awake. The maid, who was supposed to protect her earlier, is standing nearby, and the man is behind bars, looking like the male lead. He demands that she get him out of there immediately, now that she's awake. She's still confused, and the maid explains that her spell is needed to open the cells, and she's the only one who can do it. Our girl tries to process the information. The man tells her to stop playing dumb and release him. He warns her that no matter how loud she screams, no one will hear her. This is the deepest part of the dungeon, where even the guards rarely go. She insists she can't use magic. The maid reminds the man that she's lost her memories. The man asks if the maid is taking the girl's side. Our girl replies that even if she remembered, she wouldn't free him, since he must have been locked up for doing something evil. The man's face twists with anger as he orders the maid to bring her closer. Our girl's heart races with fear as she's dragged toward him. She has no idea what he's planning, and that terrifies her. He grabs her chin roughly, tilting her head up to meet his gaze. His voice is cold as he tells her she's nothing but a nuisance, just like the male lead. Then, with a smirk, he adds that at least she's beautiful. He wonders aloud how the male lead would react if he kissed her. Our girl stares at him, terrified. Suddenly, a strange light begins to glow above her head. The man's expression shifts to confusion as he watches the light above her. He steps back slightly and demands to know what she's done to him. She's just as confused and reminds him that she doesn't even know how to use magic. Before he can react further, there's a swift movement, and something slices him from behind her. It's the male lead's sword, and he looks absolutely furious. His voice is sharp as he asks the man if he really has a death wish. Our girl quickly steps back, away from the scene as the man's blood starts to spill. She watches in shock, wondering if he's dead, her mind racing to keep up with what just happened. The male lead's anger is still evident. He turns to the maid and asks if she's the one who brought our girl here. The maid, visibly scared, asks for forgiveness, saying the man threatened her. He's not listening and tells her she'll have to die too. Our girl, still on the floor, begs him not to kill her. He tells her the maid put her in danger, so she deserves to die. But our girl insists the maid was only acting under threat, so she shouldn't be killed. The male lead still doesn't seem convinced. He asks her if she can really trust someone who tried to hurt her. He tells her to stay away if she doesn't want to witness what will happen next. She keeps begging him, trying to move, but her legs are still bound. She struggles, but it's no use. Slowly, she feels her strength slipping away. Her body feels heavy, and her vision starts to blur. She falls to the ground. This alarms the male lead, and he rushes to her side. She feels so tired and cold as if her body is freezing. He gently holds her face, and she feels his warmth. For a brief moment, she feels like she's holding her doll. Suddenly, she wakes up. She's in bed, surprised to see that it was the male lead's hand that was so warm. She finds herself in the room, lying on the bed. The male lead is standing above her, watching with a relieved look on his face. He's happy that she's awake. She asks him what happened to her, and he tells her that she was unconscious and cold for 2 days after the incident. She's surprised. He decides to go and get the doctor. After a while of examination, the doctor explains that she unleashed a spell when her body wasn't stable yet, which is why she passed out. She decides to give her vitamins to help her recover her strength and informs her that her body is still too cold. She should eat warm meals and drink warm fluids to help her recover. Our girl wonders why she gets so cold easily when she can use ice spells. The male lead tells her that she's always been like this, even before everything happened. The doctor suggests he help warm her up, and the male lead agrees. The doctor leaves. They're left alone, and our girl asks him how he knew she was in the dungeon. He shows her hairpin, explaining that he found it on the floor, far from her room. Then he saw strange eyes appearing on the walls. When he got closer to the dungeon, he saw more ice, so he figured she'd be there. She asks about the 2 people in the dungeon, and he tells her that the man was killed. He adds that the man deserved it, and he would gladly get his hands dirty if it meant a brighter future for the kingdom. He also tells her that the girl escaped, mentioning that she'd only been here for a few months, but already knew all the shortcuts. He offers her a drink, telling her to take it, as she's not just going to be a queen, but his wife too. Anyone who tries to hurt her deserves to die. She takes the drink and silently begins to sip it. He continues, saying that he was so worried something bad might happen to her. He starts to come closer to her, but then stops. saying that she needs to regain her strength first. Deciding to spoon-feed her, he insists. She protests, saying she doesn't want him to do that. After she finishes eating, he asks how she's feeling. She replies that she's okay and then asks about Kenzo. She wonders if there was really a problem in the servant's room that day. He tells her no, the maid lied, and that's why he punished Kenzo for being careless enough to let her get kidnapped. She doesn't like it and begs him to free Kenzo, insisting that he didn't do anything wrong. He tells her that no matter what she says, the punishment is final. She insists that she'll go and meet him, but he laughs and tells her she doesn't even know where he's being kept. She says she'll find him anyway. Getting annoyed, he comments that she's becoming stubborn. He feels it's too dangerous for her to go alone and decides to take her there. They arrive at the room where Kenzo is being kept. When Kenzo sees them, he prostrates himself and begs for forgiveness. She looks at him with compassion and tells him it's not his fault. He comments on her kindness and then realizes she called him Ken. He's touched by her gesture. She tells him to lift his head. The male lead tells Kenzo that he will still have to face his punishment. Kenzo replies that he'll gladly accept it. Our girl tries to intervene, but the male lead is firm. He believes Kenzo needs to be punished so he won't be careless in the future. Kenzo tells her it's all right and that he'd feel guilty if he wasn't punished at all. He admits it's his fault for being so careless. The male lead holds her and tells her they should go back to her room, saying she shouldn't leave until after their marriage. Our girl agrees, thinking that the incident the other day really scared her, and staying in her room feels like the best choice for now. We see the Demon King Lex cleaning his hair. He just came out of the shower and is trying to dry up. He says to our girl, who is Lily, if she is finished putting on her clothes, right? She sits with a pink gown and says, yeah. He removes his towel, and she grumbles. She asks why is he remaining undressed, and he says that he is soaked because of her. She tells him to quickly put on something else. She shields her eyes and says that she is really at a loss because of all of them. Erg, they attacked her, and now he's going to eat her. She's still going to die here. He says, huh? Eat you? Die? He snickers and she frowns, saying that it's funny to him, huh? Amidst his laughter, he says that what he meant the other day definitely wasn't that. He tells her by eating her, he didn't mean killing her. He hugs her and kisses her cheek. He says that by eating her, he didn't mean to kill her. Then he kisses her cheek and she thinks that so this is what he meant by eating her? But she still doesn't want this. He should please not do that. He lays her down onto bed while she trembles. She cries and says that she really doesn't know him, and please, she is sorry. She trembles and he sheds a tear. He tells her that if she's putting on that face, so how long is she going to stay like this? She thinks to herself that he looks so damned sad. He says whatever and turns away. She thinks that it seems Lex really loved her in this world, but what can she do? She really doesn't know anything about him. He turns to her and says, listen up, and she perks up at his voice. He says that he is the Demon King. His name is Alexander Thamus. She should call him Lex. She wonders that he suddenly introduced himself. She says that her name is Lele Aster. He says, yeah, he knows that, and she huffs in annoyance. He says that she is his fiancé. She thinks fiancé. After being single for 23 years in her previous world, she should have a fiancé here. Wait, this isn't the time to be feeling proud. He's a demon. She asks why should she marry him anyway. He says there are 1001 reasons she should be marrying him, but most importantly, he needs her to cut down evil in the demon's realm. Demons are identical with evil, right? He's aiming to change that image. He wants this country to be cleansed of all evil. She echoes his words in her head and thinks that he and she share the same view. He gestures that she had a spell detect evil before it even took place. She asks that she had a cool spell like that. He says that sure, she has a lot of cool spells, but does she remember how to cast the most basic spell? She looks confused and says no. He says if she doesn't, she needed a long time to master that spell. And when you finally mastered it, they finally attacked her. So now she forgot everything, in fact. She has to start learning magic from the very beginning. She says that so she was attacked because she tried changing this country for the better? He says correct. She thinks that it's just like in her old world. She says that she hates evil too. Let her help him too. She thinks that there was no magic in her old world, and here she actually had a spell like that. She says that she has to be able to use that spell again. He chuckles and says that good. So they have the same opinion on this. At least this attitude of hers hasn't changed. He thinks how cute. She says that, oh, and something just as important, they'll be wed in a week from now. She says, huh? Wait, she does hate evildoers too. So she can help him, but they don't need to get married, right? Doesn't he think he's being too hasty? He says that they've long since planned this. They can't delay it any further. Another reason she should marry him is that he has a ring that can protect her, and he can only be used once she's become his wife. Even though she doesn't remember him, even though she doesn't even love him, the marriage must still go through. He doesn't want to see her getting hurt again. He grabs her hand and caresses her hand. She hums as her heart beats faster. Then she says questions, but she has no idea what she should ask first. He tells her to ask anything. She says that she's not a demon, right? He says that she's a pixie. She says that, can demons get married to pixies? He leads them to a bed where he says, sure, there are lots of interracial marriages. She shouldn't worry. She says, but the difference in their sizes kinda, and she pauses. He laughs and says, so that's what she's worried about. She should relax. They've done it before. She asks, what does he mean? He tells her the first time they did it was actually when she moved here. She says, what? She hasn't done it before. He says that it looks like he should be grateful. He kisses her hair and says, thank goodness she's still alive here with him. He just can't live without her. She may have forgotten, but how she acts and expresses herself hasn't changed a bit. He caresses her face and she thinks, oh, so he can be sweet too. He then says darkly that she's losing her memories is something that can never be forgiven. He shouldn't worry. She already took the life of the one that injured her. She thinks that no, he's not sweet at all. He's scary. She tells him to wait a second and that he means he killed them. Isn't that too harsh? He makes a confused sound at her antics. He says that there is no mercy for anyone that dares to harm her. She says that, but still, couldn't he have punished them any other way? He says nope. So who attacked her? She says that, does she know them? Did she do something wrong? He tell her that she wasn't in the wrong. The culprit was a follower of the old order. In a nutshell, the old demonic order says that if she wants something, she must obtain it through violence. He says that ever since his father started to rule, this law was no longer in effect. A lot more citizens preferred the new order effort the peace it brought. And this new order puts more emphasis on cooperation with other races. Of course, some are dissatisfied with the decision. Thus, the dissatisfied ones are gathered to form a group of their own. That group targeted her simply because she is a pixie. She can use spells, and also she's his fiancé. She wears an anxious expression as she stares at him with blue and green eyes. He says, got it? So just stay here and don't go anywhere until the day of their wedding arrives. He'll definitely protect her with all he has. She swallows at his words. He sighs and turns away from her and says, that's enough for now. He's tired. He hasn't slept in 3 days looking for the one who hurt her. He says that today's he's just going to laze around. She asks, why is he sleeping here? He lies down and says, why not? This is his room too. She argues that, but they're not married yet, right? He says, so what? They've always slept together before. He also said earlier that he's going to protect her. She says that, but she doesn't want to sleep together. She thinks, why did he take off his clothes again? She says that she'll just sleep on the sofa. He pulls her to him, and she falls on top of him, saying that she should sleep with him. She argues that she doesn't want to. He holds her to himself and says that the harder she struggles around, the tighter he's hugging her. She asks him why is he forcing her. She asks him what would he do if she told him that she doesn't have any memories of him and she's never lived in this world before. He makes a confused sound. She says that she doesn't belong in this world. She was just a normal employee. She reported a corrupt plot in her office and she got fired, and then they attacked her. When she came to, she was already in this world where she met him. He says that those storybooks she often read must have gotten mixed into her head. She says that it's the truth. She thinks that she knew that there is no use telling him about it. He then says, but from what he understands, she got hurt because she unraveled the truth, right? She says, yeah. He says that attitude of hers didn't go away. That's why she should marry him. She thinks that it looks like he truly loves her. Honestly, it's not like she hates him either. She means he looks scary, but he's actually quite handsome too. His body is pretty muscular and tanned, like a really puffy bread. He says that her eyes are stabbing right through him. She makes a confused noise. He says that something came up in her mind while she's staring at him. Does she remember him now? She says no. She was just thinking. She's sorry for making her fiancé forget about him. She asks what is she saying. She is his fiancée. She says that she knows, but he interrupts her and pulls her closer and says, what's important is that she's still alive. He caresses her and she gulps. She pleads with him to let her go. He says nope. Last time he let her go, she got hurt. She says no, can he at least not touch her? He pauses and then says nope. Is he mad at her because now that she can't use any magic, she is no longer useful to him? He says that no, he's not mad at him. She can still help him, even without magic. Besides, she can learn spells any day, but her memories. She says but she's mad at her because she doesn't recognize him, right? He assures her that he's not angry. He's just sad. He touches her hair and says that he wishes her memories would return. He says how painful it is, knowing that only he can remember everything they've experienced together. But he won't ever give up. He'll definitely make her remember, and then she'll fall for him all over again. She blushes at his words and he pulls her closer as he says that he'll keep her safe. But even if she doesn't remember him, he'll still keep doing what he's always done with her. She asks, what's that? And she thinks that she has a bad feeling. He chuckles and asks her if she really wants to know. She says on second thought. He says that he's just going to warn her. Be prepared, he can prey on her at any time. He grins and she shivers in his hands. He says, come on, time to sleep. She argues that it's still bright out, and she spent all day sleeping yesterday. He says that she will fall asleep again sooner or later. At least she should keep him company while he sleeps. He says that this is the first time she's sleeping with a man. He tells her that, well, she's always sleeping with him starting today. Here, let him take off that hairpin. She should wear her blanket tight. She gets cold quite easily. She feels comfy under the covers. He says that it's also winter right now. She asks him that he is not wearing a blanket. He says that he doesn't need one, and he can walk around naked even in the winter's cold. He always feels hot even during winter's cold days. She asks if that's why he never buttons his clothes. He laughs and says, bullseye. Anything else she want to ask? She says good night and turns away from him. He says, too bad. 15 minutes went by. Our girl wakes up and realizes that she can't still sleep. Of course, she already slept plenty yesterday after all. Not just that, even with this blanket, she still feels really cold. He stares at her and asks her what's wrong. She says that she thought he was already asleep. He admits that it's hard to sleep with a lot going on in his mind. She asks him if he can turn off the AC. He asks, what's an AC? She says there's no AC here. She just feels really cold. Our female main shivers under her covers. He says that's because her small body makes it easier to get cold. When she's cold, she'd usually hug his arm tight while he hugs her body. He always feels warm and she always felt cold. So they suit each other, doesn't she think? She turns on the bed to hug his hand and he blushes at the act as his heart beats faster. She says that he's really warm, and now she's reminded of the huge teddy bear she had back home. It was big, but he's much bigger, of course. She thinks, wait, she shouldn't tell him about her past life, should she? Why did she grab his hand? Then she tells him that she means that she had a glimpse of that in her memory. Did she have a doll? He says actually she's never had any dolls. She says that she sees, so it's probably just her imagination. She thinks that she must have sounded weird to him. He says that if she suddenly remembers anything, no matter how outrageous it sounds, she should just tell him. He'll be glad to hear it, and it could even be a clue. She says all right. He snuggles to her and says they should sleep. In the night, they sleep soundly. 3 years ago, we see our girl standing with her mouth open in front of our guy. He asks her what's up and calls her Lily. She laughs nervously and says that it's nothing. She thinks she's just getting a bit tired. Our guy tells her that's true. They should rest soon. They walk into a bedroom, and our guy welcomes her to his room and says that from now on, it's her room as well. She removes her jacket and says that she's sharing room with him. He tells her it's so she will be within his protection at all times. He was also thinking they could do other things as well. She laughs and says that's just him. Since it's her room too, can she change the room's color to be a bit brighter? It's a bit ugly for her taste. He laughs and says sure, whatever makes her comfortable here. She says of course, she'll be comfortable. After all, she'll always be with him. He asks her isn't she sad because he just kidnapped her from her home? Our girl says quite the contrary. She's happy because now she gets to be with him. She is no longer alone now. His heartbeat increases, and he caresses her cheek as he asks her, does she know what it means to share a room with him? He tells her that it means he won't be able to keep himself from touching her. She tells him that it's okay and she loves him after all. He asks, why is she? She says what? He tells her that he loves her more and she won't be able to escape from him. She says, and just who's going to run away? He says that they sure took a long journey. They should take a bath first. In the bath, our girl complained that his back is too wide and she is tired. He says that he told her that she didn't have to wash his back. She says that she's training to be a good wife. He says, ah, and gathers her into his arms. He says that he can't wait for her to become his wife. She says that there's no need to hurry. She'll patiently wait for the day. He says, well, he's the impatient one, and he wants her to marry him right away. He nuzzles her neck and she blushes. She says that, but for now the matters of the kingdom comes first. He replies that yes, once things have settled down a bit, he'll marry her. Then they kiss. Our girl wakes up in fright as thinks that was a dream, but it felt so real. It was so warm. She scolds her to stop recalling. Beside her, our male guy sleeps soundly. She realizes that she slept with him last night, but they didn't do anything weird. He looks really beat. And he did say he hadn't slept in 3 days to catch the one who attacked her. This is bad. She shouldn't look at him too much. We main girl with a defeated expression as she thinks that 6 days left until the marriage. She doesn't know what to do anymore. She can only accept her fate here. She should do something to distract her mind from the marriage. They should see what should she usually do when she's off from work? Browsing? There's no internet here. Watching some films? She doesn't have her laptop with her here. Sewing? Should she ask Lex for a sewing machine? Flower trending? There's no flowers in the room. Maybe there's something interesting in the wardrobe. She admires the dresses on hangers and thinks, whoa, what beautiful dresses. Does all of this really belong to her? She already saw it the other day, but it still amazes her. What about the wardrobe next to it? She opens the door and wonders, what's a broom? Floor cleaners? Didn't think Lex would put this stuff in his room. Maybe he likes cleaning. She realizes that, well, she does like cleaning too. Maybe she should clean things to pass the time. First, she should change. She needs normal clothes, not a dress. She needs something that's easy to move in. She rummages through her wardrobe to search for a casual attire. She finds one, but it's a short black gown with a corset and a tight bodice. She realizes the error in the clothing choice. She feels that she will embarrass herself if our main guy saw it. Good thing he's still asleep. She wraps her head in a bun and decides to start cleaning. She uses a rag to clean the mirrors and glass surfaces. A few hours later, she wipes sweat off her brows and she thinks, phew, all done, sparkling clean. She says that it's good her guy is still asleep. She'll put the cleaning tools back, then she'll go take a bath. As she walks to the bathroom, she kicks a bucket of water which tips over. She panics and thinks that she already cleaned up the floor. She stretches out her hand and a blue light comes out of her palms. The water turns to ice which shatters onto the floor. She screams what? The water instantly froze over. The Demon King Lex comes out grumbling, what's with all the noise? She stumbles over her words, unable to speak freely. She asks him in tears that, why did the water suddenly freeze? He tells her that her spells are coming back. She looks at her hand and says, spells? Did she really use one? He says that's ice magic was often used by her to attack the enemy. He asks her if she can do it again. She shrieks that no, that one was purely accidental. He asks her if she wants to try practicing. She asks practice? How? In a bathroom, our guy stands in a towel and watches our girl try to use her magic. She tries to turn the water into ice, but the water remains the same. She breaks into tears and says that it's not changing. He says that at least it looks like she hasn't lost her spells, she just can't control it right now. He wonders if he shouldn't laugh, but she looks so cute when she's trying hard like this. She says that was her first time doing it too. There's no way she can do it again. He hums. He says that he's been meaning to ask, and she says what? He asks, why is she wearing those clothes? That it's a school uniform. She grimaces and says this is a uniform? It was the only thing with a short skirt in the wardrobe, so she wanted to clean the room, so it'd be hard to do it with a long dress, right? He asks, why would she clean the room? They have servants for that. He says that he had nothing else to do. And besides, she loves to do cleanup, so she did it. He tells her that side of hers hasn't changed either. She even stored cleaning tools inside the wardrobe. She should follow him. She says, huh? She was the one who put the tools there. He tells her she sure did. He asks her if she wants some short skirts. He can buy them for her. She says, oh no, he doesn't have to. But if she may, could he please bring her sewing equipment and some fabrics here? He laughs and says, ah, that's right, she could do that too. He opens a door and tells her that it's over here. He shows her fabrics and boxes. He says that needles and threads are in that box. She says, whoa, all of this belongs to her? Such pretty cloths. She thinks that now she wants to sew some clothes similar to what's in her previous world. Sure, she likes to wear dresses like those princess cartoon she often watched on Sundays, but nothing beats casual everyday wear. He smiles and she bubbles in glee. He leans to her and says that if she wants to make short skirts, she should just be sure to only wear it in her own room. She holds the fabric as she realizes what it just said. Then she shoves him away as she shouts, wah! She says that she never felt comfortable going outside in a short skirt anyway. He laughs and says, good. He hugs her from behind and says, because he is the only one allowed to see her wearing these kind of clothes. He has hands around her as he says that he didn't know her school uniform could look so attractive when she's wearing it now. She blushes and screams, what? He says that maybe because it's a tight fit. She tells him not to say something like that, and he should let her go. He says that's a nice voice. He told her, right? He can pounce on her at any time. Her stomach growls in hunger. She moves out of his hands and says how embarrassing. He asks her if she is hungry. He gets up from the bed and turns around while calling over his shoulder that he'll ask the servants to bring them some food. She realizes that was his stomach rumbling. She tells him that she'll go take a bath first. He asks her if she wants him, and she interrupts him saying that he shouldn't come in without permission. He tells her that she should lock the door then. She realizes that he's right. She remembers that the lock was so high up, she couldn't reach it. He makes a noise indicating he doesn't believe her. She hits his chest and tells him to stop teasing her. He says that he can't help it. She's too cute. Next we see food arranged in front of them and he tells her bon appetit. Our girl takes a spoon and moans in delight and says that it's good. This perks the Demon King as he says of course it is. They have the best cooks here. She stares at him with an unreadable expression and he asks her, what's wrong? She says that he's a king, right? He says, yeah, why? He says, yeah, why? She admits that he doesn't act very kingly. Look at how he sits. He licks his fingers while eating. He hollers and says, yeah. She thinks, why is he proud of that? He says that she's the only one here. He doesn't need to be all formal-like. But if it bother her that much, he could eat more normally. She wipes her mouth with a napkin and says that there's no need for all that. This is his place after all. She's only staying here. She thinks that she's just wonders, rather than a king. He's more suited to be a mafia boss. He admits that if he could choose, he wouldn't have become king. Being a normal citizen suits him more. He sighs and scratches the back of his head, admitting that taking care of the people can be tiring. He asks her if he knows what his wish is. She asks what is it. He blushes and says that his wish is to be able to live with her in a rural village, then they'll have lots of kids there. She says, what kids? Our demon king says, but it was she who wanted him to be king. A long time ago, to make the kingdom and even the entire world a better place. Even if she's forgotten, he still fulfill that promise of theirs. He takes her hand in his and caresses it lovingly. He kisses her hand and says most importantly, he can protect her and make her happy. She blushes and stutters. He turns away from her and says, "Oh, yeah, that reminds him. He has a book that might be useful to her." He gives her and says, "Here, this is a book containing the history of pixies. He hope it'll be able to jog some memories." She accepts the book and says, all right, she'll try reading it. She asks him, what is he going to do today? He says that he's just going to laze around here. She asks him that he's not working. He says that he should have been on marriage leave the entire week anyway. He has a soldier of his that he can trust to take care of his job in the meantime. Still, there are some jobs that he has to personally attend. For example, finding and punishing the one who hurt her. They have to die. She gulps at his words. Our heroine says, yeah, the marriage. What should she do? It feels like she's not contributing at all. Our guy says that all she has to do is wait until the day of the wedding. The preparations have been done since before she lost her memories. She says that she sees. She argues, but still, she should understand it first, right? At least he should give her a breakdown of the event. He says that it's like this and starts explaining it. Later, we see our girl trying to read the book Lex gave her earlier. She huffs at the book in her hand. She thinks that she's only read the first page. This book reads like a fantasy novel. No way something like this existed in her old world. Is this world actually real? He says she can't wrap her head around it, huh? She shouldn't force herself to read it if she can't bear it. She agrees with him. She asks him if she can ask something, and he tells her to shoot. She asks if she had wings like the pixie on the book's cover. His aura suddenly turns dark as he says that he should have known she'd ask something like this. She wonders why did it suddenly feel heavy in here. She cries out that he doesn't have to answer that but he tells her that she had wings. He apologizes and says sorry. It reminded him of a horrible accident, and it was his fault. She notices his dark demeanor and tells him to never mind her question. She never had wings anyway. She doesn't remember how having wings felt like, so she doesn't feel the difference, so he doesn't need to think about it. Suddenly, they hear knocking on the door, and someone says, "Good afternoon, Her Majesty. They are sorry for disturbing their rest." This is Kenzo and Ariane, and they have something important to report to him. Our guy huffs and says, there goes his holiday, he guess. She asks, why? What is it? Who are they? He says, she doesn't remember them either. She should come, he'll introduce her again. Two men walk in, one with green hair and long ears, while the other with brown hair and horns. The one with green hair says, The door opened much faster than he thought. On a cold morning like this, a lot of sheep gather on this field. Every day she comes here to watch their activities, but her eyes are glued only to one beautiful sheep. That sheep is named Lily. One day the king admits that he's going to eat her up. The two men prostrate and says, "Good morning, Your Majesty." Our king says that this better be good. She wonders who are they. The green-haired man said, of course, they have both good news and bad news. The king tells them to give him the bad news first. The green-haired man says that the bad news is that my lord must come with me. Kenzo will keep watch here in the meantime. That means Ariane, the green-haired man. He also says that the good news is their work this time will be quick, maybe just an hour or two. Our king scratches the back of his head and says fine, he'll go prepare himself, and while they are here, Lily should come closer. Lily hesitates before she moves closer to our guy. He says he wants to introduce her. The brown-haired fellow is Kenzo. Kenzo blushes as he says hello, Lady Lily. Kenzo thinks, whoa, she's even more beautiful up close. He is Kenzo and is 18 years old. He's only been here for a year, but he was assigned to this division a few weeks ago. Our girl thinks that he's younger than her, but he's already this tall. He says that he knows Milady suffers from amnesia, but she actually never met him in the first place. For him as well, this is the first time he is meeting her directly. He's so happy to finally be able to meet her. He stretches out his hand to her. Our king roars and asks, what is he doing? He gulps and bows his head, saying, "Please forgive his impudence, Your Majesty. He's a big fan of his, so he's also a fan of the people he loves, me lord." Lex tells him to not touch her unless he wants to be fired. Kenzo breaks a sweat as he says, right, he's sorry. Our guy still glares at the brow-haired gourd as he huffs and says, whatever. Next is that one, Arion. Arion smiles and closes his eyes as he says, hello, Lady Lily. He and her have actually met before. He's the Majesty's advisor and guardian ever since he was a child. He's also seen her when she was a child. Our girl Lily opens her mouth in surprise. The green-haired man and our girl share eye contact. Our girl says that Arion doesn't have any horns, and he also has a different color. His body is not too big, and even if he is still tall. Arion says that's because he's an elf, although he does have some demonic traits, as he descended from them. She says, hold on, he says that he watched over Lex since he was a kid? So Arion is older than Lex? Arion says, of course, he's 7 years older than him. Our girl blanches and says, what? Arion laughs and says that he even once cleaned up His Majesty's waist. Our guy says that one is a lie and she should not believe him. From the looks of it, Arion looks younger than Lex. Thank you. No thank you. The duo exchange gratitude to one another. She says Lex is much bigger than both of them. Does he really need guards? Our guy Lex says that he's the strongest one here. True, he doesn't need guards. But his guards are also her guards too. So he need them to protect her when he can't be by her side. She says, ooh. He says that he'll go ready himself first. 30 minutes. R gets dressed in black and green and says, all right, he's going now. Kenzo will be standing guard in front of her room, so she should stay inside. She says, all right. He asks her if he should bring her some books again. She says, oh, sure, and thinks that she has nothing else to do, so that would be nice. He says that he really doesn't want to go. Even though she's guarded, he's still worried. He bends down to nuzzle her neck. She pushes him away and says, don't. He chuckles and says that she should come one. It's just a kiss. He says that he'll be right back and she can take care of herself all right. She reddens and says that she knows. She thinks that he always makes her heart beat faster. Our king tells Kenzo to protect his fiancé and he'll be going now. Kenzo prostrates and says understood. Lex walks away and she realizes that he's gone. She should feel relieved. But instead, why does it feel like she's lost something? Later on, our girl tells Kenzo that she'll go back to her room now. He says, understood, milady. She should have a good rest. A dark-haired lady with horns shouts his name and asks for confirmation. He tells her, yes, what is it? She asks him if he can come to the servants' room for a bit. A maid needs some help. Kenzo scratches the back of his head and says, what? Why? But he's assigned. The maid insists that there's no time. Let her keep watch over Lady Lily's room. He says, is that so? All right, she believes him. Kenzo runs out of the room, saying, Lady Lily, he's sorry. He'll be gone for a bit. Lily says that, yes, it's okay. The maid addresses her that, milady, she should get back to her room. Our girl says, oh, all right. As she turns around, the maid brings out a wooden stick ready to tail a swing at her. A person asks, is she sure? She's the one? Another says, definitely, they don't recognize her. She's the fiancé of Lex, the person insults him. Our girl opens her eyes and looks at her kidnappers. One person says that they know that, but she's lost her memories. Are they sure she could do it? Another says only her memories are lost. She should still be able to use her spells. Our girl sits up and wonders what happened. She can't move. They tied her hands and legs. A man with horns and black hair says, looks like she is awake. Hey, now that she's awake, she should get him out of here. She says, what? The maid of before says that her spell is needed to open the cells in here, and only she can do it. Our girl raises a brow and says, what? He tells her to quit acting dumb. She should just release him from here. He mocks her, saying that she can scream for help all she wants. They won't be able to hear her. This is the deepest part of the dungeon. Even the guards rarely come here. Our girl says she can't use magic. The maid tells the guy behind the bars that she told him she lost her memories. The guy glares at the maid and says she is taking her side. Lily says that even if she does remember, she still wouldn't open it. He must have been imprisoned for doing something evil. He glares at our girl and says, hey, to the maid, and that the maid should bring her closer here. The maid grips Lily and drags her over to the cells. Lily says, "What is he going to do? What do they want?" She thinks that she's scared. He touches her chin and says that she's a pain just like Lex, but she's cute. If he kisses her, he wonders how Lex would react. Her heartbeat accelerates at his words. Light blue light appears and shines on the man behind bars as he asks what's happening. He notices that his hand is frozen, and he demands her to tell him what has she done to him. She says she couldn't use any magic. Then he insults her. Our main guy suddenly appears and says he wanted to dies that bad, huh? He uses his sword to kill the man. Our main girl backs away as she sees blood and thinks, did he die? Our guy glares at Maid and she gulps. He asks if the maid was the one who brought Lily here. The maid shivers on the spot as she says, forgive me, he was the one who threatened her to. Our guy tells her plainly that she has to die too. Our girl cries out, don't Lex from her place on the floor. Lex argues that she put her in danger. Lily tells him that didn't he listen? She was being threatened, so he should not kill her. Lex asks Lily if she can trust someone who harmed her. She should just stay there if she doesn't want to see this. She says, Lex, please don't. She thinks that she can't move fast with these bound legs. She struggles within them. She realizes that her body feels heavy, her sight. Our guy turns back and says, Lily. She feels so tired, cold. It feels like her body is freezing up. The Teddy of before hold her. She realizes that his touch, it's so warm. She blinks her eyes to see she is in bed and Lex is tucking her in. Lily sees where she is and calls out his name. His eyes widen and he says she's awake. She asks what happened. He tells her that after that incident she was out cold for 2 days. She says 2 days? He says that he'll go get the doctor. She should wait here. The doctor, who is a blonde, walks in and says that our girl unleashed a spell when her condition wasn't stable yet, Milady. That's what made her unconscious. She'll give her vitamins to recover her strength. Her body is still too cold. Have more warm meals and drinks to recover. Our girl Lily says that she can use ice spells, but why does she get cold so easily? He tells her that it's because her power isn't stable yet. But she always gets cold easily even before this, come to think of it. Our doctor says that His Majesty can also help warm Lily up even more. Our guy crosses his hands over his chest and says he'll do it. The doctor says now if they will excuse her. Our girl asks Lex how did he know she was in the dungeons. He says that it's thanks to this. He shows her a flower in his palm. He says that he found her hairpin on the floor a bit far from her room. Then suddenly he saw ice sprouting on the walls. As he got closer to the dungeons, there was even more ice, so he was sure she'd be there as well. She says then, what happened to those two back then? He sighs and says that the man has died. She says dead and remembers that, yeah, his head. He says that he deserved it. He will gladly dirty his hands if it means a brighter future for his kingdom. Also, the woman ran away, damn it. She's been here for a few months. Looks like she knew all the short butts in here. He gives her a drink and tells her to drink it. He caresses her cheek and says she's to become not only a queen but also his wife. Whoever hurt her deserves to die. She takes the cup and drinks its content. Our guy admits that he was so worried, he was afraid they'd do something to her. For now, she needs to get her energy back. Here, he'll spoon-feed her. She says she can eat herself. After eating, he asks her, how is she feeling now? Does she still feel tired? Cold? She tells him that she's fine. She asks if Kenzo is all right. Was there really a problem in the servants' room that day? He says no, there was nothing. The maid lied. That's why he punished Kenzo for being so careless. He'd allowed her to get kidnapped. Her widen as she says, what? She argues that he didn't do anything wrong. Lex should not punish him. Lex argues that no matter what she says, it's finally. She says she'll go meet him. He tells her to not even know where his room is. She says that she'll go search until she finds him. He pulls her to his chest and says that she's really stubborn, isn't she? He realizes that it could be dangerous if Lily went on her own. He sighs and says fine, he'll take her there. Kenzo knees to the ground and begs the Demon King. He says, Your Majesty King Lex and Milady Lily, please forgive him for his negligence. Our girl raises her hands up and tells him that it's not his fault, Ken. He says she's too kind, me lady. Then he says that, wait, she called him Ken. Ah, she's very touched. She says, come on, he should lift his head up. Lex tells him that he's still gonna get his punishment. Kenzo says that he'll gladly accept it. Lily whines our guy's name as he says that Kenzo still needs to go through with it, so he wouldn't be so careless in the future. Kenzo says that it's all right, Princess Lily. He would feel guilty if he wasn't being punished at all. After all, it was his fault for being too careless. Lex holds her and says they should get back to the room. She really can't go outside her room until the day of their marriage comes. Our girl wonders that that's for the best, too. That incident the other day really made her afraid to get away from her here. Next, we see our girl huffing in bed. Our guy darts to her and asks what's wrong? Bad dream? She breaks into tears and says, "Sorry, Lex." She keeps waking him up. He says that she must still scared by that incident the other day, huh? Is she afraid of him? He is a demon too, just like him. She tells him that he's different. He's always kind to her, even though he can be a bit overprotective sometime. No, it's not just him who's kind to her. Chloe the doctor, the guards Kenzo and Ariane. True, at first she was scared of him. But as we talked and got to know each other in that dream, she closes her eyes and remembers the dream. She didn't feel like a dream at all, even though she's only met him a few days ago. She always feels safe, whenever she's with him, as if she's known him all her life. She says he's not scary to her at all. His heart skips a beat at her words, and he says, "Thank goodness." He nuzzles her cheek and then kisses her. He says that he'll make her forget about it then. Then he strips off his shirt. Our girl realizes that yesterday wasn't a dream. Lex was being so sweet. She can't get it out of her mind. Then our guy walks in with a towel on his head. He waves at her and says, "Morning, Lily." She says, "Ack, he was here." He touches her body and asks her if it hurts anywhere on her body. She tells him that she is fine. He says that he wants to take her somewhere, so she should prepare herself. She says, isn't it bad for her to leave this room? He says that this time she's going to be fine. She asks, where are they going anyway? He tells her to a place where there's only the two of us, and he winks at her. She wonders if they aren't always together. She wonders, can she finally go for a walk? Then two people stop them and greet them by saying, "Good morning, Your Majesty." He says, "Yo, you two, everything good?" We see Kenzo and Ariane saying, "All under control." We see the maid prostrating saying, "Good morning, Your Majesty." He says, "Yo," she thinks that, wow, he's kinda cool when he's like this. He actually looks like a real king. He glances at her and pulls her closer and says, "Come this way." He says that Ariane and Kenzo should wait outside. They say understood. Next, we see her in a big room with red curtains and a grand chair. She says that this hall is kind of overwhelming, but it's amazing. So what should she do here? Next, the aura of the air shifts and asks what's wrong. He says before that, he wanted to ask her something. He says as they walked earlier, what was on her mind? We see our girl in angel wings. She says her name is Lily, and she is an angel. We angels have a task to keep this world safe, the chaos that's caused by the demon king Lex. But he says that he loves her and kisses her. She thinks, what has she done? This, the demon angel. Our girl looks away and says it's nothing important, and he says that she should just say it. He's curious. She tells him that he'll regret hearing it. He says never and smiles, trying to convince her. She says that from how he greeted everyone, she thought he was only nice towards Ariane, but it turns out she's nice to the servants too. He sees everyone here as friends, huh? He's a very nice king, even though his face can be scary. He blushes, that so? She's making him blush. He pats her head and says thank you. He's happy he said those words, but there's really nothing to it. He's just being himself as he rule. He hugs her to his side. He says that he can't help but think, how they chose to work here and not believe in any heretical ideas is already something incredible. They all believe in him. Getting to work here is hard. He has to personally test every single one of the servants here, so there are no spies. He doesn't want a repeat of the incident the other day. He says that the fewer people he trusts, the fewer people work here too. Sorry if it's dirty in here. She says that she can help clean it up. He tells her don't. She has an important job to do here. She asks he says such as learning more about this kingdom. She thinks sounds heavy. He tells her to come this way. He sees a portrait of a man and woman and asks him if those are his parents. He says yup. She says, and the one they're carrying, that's him, how cute. He says, "Yees, that's me." She says, "So even him as a kid once too." "That tattoo of his, has it been there since he was small?" He taps it and says, "Yeah, he has had this since birth. All demons have one, just in different places." She says, "Oh, Chloe and Kenzo too?" He says that Kenzo and Chloe too? The Demon King says that Kenzo has the tattoo on his arm. He don't know where Chloe's is. She says that his mother is so beautiful. He says, yeah, that she's a pixie just like her. It's because of her mom that he got to know her. She says that his mother is a pixie, so do all pixies have the same heterochromia? He says, yep, heterochromia, pale white skin and a small, winged body. She says, Then she touches the portrait and thinks, wings? She can't really see them in this painting. She says that is why their horn sizes are different. He says, maybe. Yeah, usually a child from a mixed-race parents also has the physical characteristics mixed up. He says another example would be Arion. He's an elf, but he's the tallest among other elves. He says now, Lily, as she's now his fiancée, he needs to tell her this. The problem in this kingdom of demons. His grandfather had 2 sons. Aslan is his father and Azura is his younger brother. Ever since it was under his grandfather's leadership, the social inequalities in this kingdom have been particularly severe. The strong pillage and trampled over weak. Not only the weak citizens of this kingdom suffered, but also citizens in other kingdoms. But not with his uncle. He thought that as long as the pillagers are still taxed, the kingdom should keep doing fine anyway. So Ganpa told his dad to do research into the other kingdoms first. Unfortunately, not a single kingdom, city, nor village would let his father in, all except the village of pixies. And that's where his parents met? He says correct. The relationship between his father and mother made it easier to cooperate with the elves as well. Bit by bit, father's connection with the other kingdoms improved, but this made Uncle furious. In his anger, he then killed Grandpa. A civil war happened, and her parents died. As for my uncle, he saw his dead body, but it was taken by his loyal followers. She says nothing to him. Suddenly she feels pain. She asks him if he's going. He says that he's sorry, Lily. He has to help his parents. His kingdom is in a worrisome state right now. She says she will go with him. Her spells can help. He tells her no, she should stay here. It's too dangerous. He pulls her in for a hug and says that he promises he'll come back. He says he's sorry. He's sorry because of him. He swears that he'll never leave her side again. Next, we see our guy hugging our girl and asking her if something is wrong. He tells her that she looks pale. They should go back to her room. Sorry, her story was a bit too heavy, huh? She raises her hand in pseudo-defense and assures him that she's fine, really. She walks toward him and trips, but he catches her in seconds. He says that she's not fine at all and calls her name. He swoops her into his arms. She tells him that he doesn't need to carry her like this, Lex. He says that there's no way she's letting her walk in this condition. Besides, he likes to carry her. She asks him, isn't she heavy? He says no way, she's too light, she should eat a lot more. Our girls fells that what did she just see? It all felt so real. Was it just her mind playing tricks? Or was that her previous life here? Or a prophecy of what's to come? Our girl asks her guy what exactly is he doing? He lays her in bed and asks her what's on her mind. Did she remember something? She wonders, but why in this position? Should she tell him? But she doesn't want Lex to worry. She thinks that even she doesn't know what's real and what's not. She sits up and says that she was thinking in Ainlite Shonlius. She wants to learn even more about this world, the kingdom, and about him and her. He says that he will tell her slowly and he caresses her face. But right now, her health is more important. She says that then he should tell her one of those first. He says, all right, which one does she want first? She blushes and says, since they are getting married soon, she still wants to know more about him. She plays with her fingers as she says that our guy should tell her about their first meeting. He hides a smirk behind his hand and says, all right, then let's start from the beginning. He graduated from the first level of school in the demonic kingdom when she was 10 years old. After that, his parents decided he should continue his study outside of the kingdom. It was all so that he could live alongside other races. Since High Mother was a pixie, it was easy for him to enroll in a pixie school. He lived in the pixie village with Arion. His mother came every week, while his father only came once a month. In demon school, He learned more about physical activities than theoretical skills. So in his new school, he had to start from the beginning with classmates younger than him. And it was in that class that he met her. We see a young version of Lily saying that they are going to punish him. She doesn't want him to die, and she rushes to hug him as he is bound in chains. Our Demon King looks her in the eye and says, now, she should not worry herself sick over him. He's not going to live long anyway. She breaks into tears and says he should not talk like that. She hugs him tighter and cries into his body. She says that she's fine and he shouldn't let go. He should never leave her. All she wants is to stay with Lex forever. She wonders if fate would accept them. She was very small, but she was gutsy and brave. Our guy tells her that, heck, she's still small even now. Small and sexier, though. She glares at him and tells him to stop that. She says that she's listening, so he should get back on track already. We see our homegirl saying, hello, Lex. She is Lily Astor, the class rep here. She offers him a book and says that he started school a week since the year started, so he's quite behind in class. He can look at her notes. He takes the note and says thanks, and she says he's welcome. But he admits that he was a rat back then. Our girl, when she was younger, shouts his name and demands why he doodles all over her notes. She raises up her book for him to see his own doodles. He says because she lent her book to him, and she argues that he can't do that. Where's his gratitude? They always fought. He always found a way to tease her, because she was way too square and she's a perfectionist. But she's funny when she gets mad. They were always in the same class. Not a day went by where they didn't argue with each other. But as they grew older, they came to love each other. We now see our matured Demon King looking up with nostalgia as he says that he confessed to her after they graduated from school. Lily says, wow, so he's already that annoying when he was small. He pinches her cheek and says that it's all her fault for being too funny. She reacts to the pain. He says that's that, and she should now go to sleep. She says that she's not asleep yet. He says then she should stay in the room. He'll bring books for her. She thinks that it's better if she learns bit by bit about this world. She opens the book and asks, what is he going to today? He says that he thinks he needs to get to the paperwork he's yet to approve. He wouldn't feel good if he kept asking Ariane to do those. He really doesn't feel like it right now, though. He hugs her and asks her if she wants to do something a bit more intimate. She says no. Why does he always end up thinking about those kind of things? 2 days before the wedding, Lex told our girl Lily to stay put inside her room, but she's so bored. She looks at Lex from across the room and says that he's still asleep. She admits that she tried reading, but there's a lot of things she doesn't understand. It's boring to just read all the time, too. She wants to do something else. Maybe sewing clothes would be fun. She wants to sew something for Lex, but she needs to know his size, and she knows that he's pretty big. And she doesn't want to know that she's making him a present. She takes a measuring tape and thinks that she's going to take his measurement quietly. She hopes that he doesn't wake up. Suddenly, he yanks her closer and pulls her to him. She falls like a heap on his chest. She wonders, why did he wake up? The Demon King smiles as he says, what this? He never though Lily would be this assertive, and she cries no. He licks her neck and tells to not be shy, and he's all hers after all. She can hug him any time. She cries and says, but she was just... Next, someone knocks on the door, interrupting their moment. The person behind the door says, my lord. They're sorry to bother him, but they bring news. Our guy growls and flips our girl onto the bed and says, they're such a pain. Right when he was having fun too. Our girl covers herself and says, thank goodness. She got his size. Our guy gets dressed and says, sorry, Lily, he has to go now. He'll be back in the evening. He wears a gold and black outfit. He also says that Kenzo and Ariane will be standing guard outside this room. She should call them if she needs anything. She thinks yes. She's sure she can finish it before Lex comes back. Let's do this. He notices her joy, and he cups her face and asks if she is happy since he's leaving. What is she going to do then? She says that she will read books like usual. He always disturbs her when she is reading something. He agrees with her. He says that she should send him off with a kiss. He kisses her cheek and tells her to take care of herself, all right? He ruffles her hair, and she says that she's not going anywhere and he knows, and he shouldn't mess her hair up. She touches her and thinks that now her hair is all messy, and she thinks she's going to take a bath first. Later we see her stretching and thinks no good. His C's is too big. She's going to need a lot more time than she expected. She's not finished yet, and it's already evening. Suddenly, our guy walks in and says he leaves the rest to Arion. It dawned on her that he's back. She need to put all these things away. Our girl is seen thinking, the angels have come to a decision. The Demon King Lex would be executed a week from now. She wonders what she would do. The male lead is seen holding her tightly. He asks if she would like to go with him. She replies that she would. He smiles and tells her that starting from today, this would be her home too, that he didn't mind dying if it meant he could meet her. But now, he wants to keep living so that they can stay together forever. He steps into the room and starts looking around, eyes scanning the space. It's a total mess. Stuff is scattered everywhere, like something exploded. He raises a brow and asks her if she's working on something. She jumps to respond, saying, nope, she's not making anything. But he's not buying it, not for a second. He points out how chaotic the room looks, like clearly something's going on here. He tells her it's obvious she was making something and adds that she's a terrible liar. He's got that look on his face, the one that says he's not letting this go. He steps closer and tells her to just let him see it already. She quickly says no, tells him it's not done yet. But he doesn't back off. He's curious now. He says he wants to see it, and not just see it, he wants to see her wearing it. That catches her off guard. She tells him it's not for her. He blinks, surprised by that. She repeats it with a little smile. It's actually for him. That changes everything. He lights up immediately, super eager, and says he'll wear it. She laughs and tells him it's still not finished, but if he wants to try it on anyway, he totally can. He tries it on, it looks weird on him. She explains to him that it is t-shirt, that it is the most comfortable form of clothing that she has always liked. Touching it, he tells her that this is the first time he has seen something like that. He comments that it is a bit tight, though. She replies that she might have taken the wrong measurement. At that instant, the clothes tears from behind. She tells him that she expected that to happen, assuring him that she would make a new one. He removes it and gives to her, apologizing for messing it up. He asks her when she took the measurement. She tells him that she took it this morning, when he thought she was hugging him. He remembers the time. He tells her that she should have just told him instead of keeping quiet about it. She replies that if she had asked him, then it would no longer be a surprise. Now that he knows, she asks him if she can take his measurement. He quickly agrees. She quickly brings out her tape and begins to measure him. After a while, she is done. She tells him that she will make a better one for him soon. She looks down. Looking at her body always makes her nervous, and she wonders why. He asks her if she isn't making one for herself, too. She replies no, that she wants to make something for him, since he saved her back in prison. She asks him if he doesn't like that type of clothing, that she would sew him anything he likes. She knows that she can't exactly make all types of clothes yet. Coming close to he tells her that he liked it, that he likes anything she makes. It's that she should make anything she wants and she will gladly wear it. One day before the wedding. Our girl wakes up from the bed and sees a note. Lex already departed so early in the morning. He left her a note. She feels his handwriting is very messy. He tells her in the note that he is going to check and make sure everything is ready for the wedding tomorrow, that she should just wait in her room. Chloe would stay with her. Still on the bed, she can't believe that the wedding is tomorrow. She wonders if she's making the right choice of just following whatever he wants. After all, marriage is something that is sacred. She shouldn't even mess around with the idea, but for some reasons, she couldn't reject him. No, it's more like she has longed for this all her life. A picture flashes in seconds in her head. She is conscious now. She wonders what that was. Was that the memory from back when Lex proposed to her? She feels he is always romantic. Our girl is seen in the bathtub. She is deep in thoughts. This is their wedding. But she feels like she haven't done anything at all. She knows Lex is so worried about her. That's why he won't allow her leave her room. She hopes he would share some of his burdens with her once they are married. She doesn't want to keep being protected like this. She wants to be useful, but she still can't use her spells. She decides to continue reading more books. The scene shows years ago, in her kingdom, she is together with Lex. She asks him what time he intends to go back. He replies that he would stay until his parents want him, asking her if she wants to tell him to hurry back to his kingdom. She replies no, that she is so happy that he came to school here and even worked here, that even though at first they were always bickering, it feels like they understood each other over time. He smiles and tells her that he doesn't want them to ever part ways. Suddenly, he holds her shoulder and makes a sign for her to be quiet. She asks him what the problem is. He looks at her and tells her that he loves her. She replies that she loves him too. He tells her that he is happy that she feels that way too. He tells her that he doesn't want to go back to his kingdom. She grabs his hand gently and reminds him that he is the son of the Demon King, so he will have to go back sooner or later. She asks him if he doesn't want to bring peace and safety to his kingdom again. He replies that he knows he has a duty. Then, bringing out a ring from his pocket, he tells her to marry him. She is shocked. She asks him when he bought the ring. Then she feels the question is not important. She asks him if he is serious about his proposal. He tells her that he is fully serious, that once is safer in the Demon Kingdom, they will get married there. He asks her if she wants their wedding to be here as well. She replies about that later. He tells her that she is right. Hugging him tightly, she tells him that what is important is that they will never be apart. Scene shows our girl sleeping on the chair. Chloe is calling on her to wake up, asking her why she isn't sleeping on her bed. Our girl wakes up, surprised to see her. Chloe apologizes, telling her that she just arrived today, that the male lead also has his hands filled with managing the wedding, that it was quite hectic. She offers to allow her wash her up, that she have prepared body wash that can make her smell good for the rest of the day. Today is the day of the wedding. Our girl is surprised. Today is the day of the wedding. Chloe tells her to calm down, that it is still morning, and she will help her prepare. Lily asks her where Lex is. She replies that he is in the next room, trying to get prepared too. Our girl is very shocked. She overslept and now is the wedding day. Chloe tells her to follow her. She wants to clean her up. Our girl tells her not to worry, that she will do it herself. Offering her a brew, she tells her that today is going to be a long day, so she should relax first by bathing with it. She offers to help our girl, and she accepts. While in the bathtub, the brew is added to the water. It smells so nice that our girl had to comment about it. Chloe tells her that the soap is made of the finest ingredients. As our girl sits relaxing while she is being taken care, she feels it is weird to have someone bath her. She guesses it's not bad either. She asks Chloe if she has someone special to her. The doctor is taken aback by the question and begins to stammer. Our girl knows that there must be an answer, so she persuades her to say it. Chloe tells her that she greatly admires someone here, but they are not lovers, they are just acquaintances at work, that he has been a doctor here for longer time than her, that he is often assigned outside the kingdom as the army's doctor. So she will probably rarely see him. She adds that he is also coming to the wedding later. Our girl tells her that she wants to see her. Chloe begs her to keep it a secret, that he only admires him, and she doesn't think he likes her that way. Our girl tells her that her secret is safe with her. She feels the doctor is so cute. Chloe continues, saying that she hopes to meet her soulmate one day, and that their relationship would be as romantic and sweet just as Lex and our girl. Our girl is surprised that Chloe uses romantic to describe her relationship. After washing herself, Chloe did the makeup and helped her wear the wedding dress. She is so skilled at this. Our girl feels that if he opens a makeup service, people would flock instantly. Chloe finishes and tells her that they are good to go. Our girl stands up to look at herself in the mirror. She looks so good. Even the dress is beautiful. She comments about the beauty of the dress, and Chloe agrees that the dress is beautiful, but she herself is more prettier, adding that the male lead would be starstruck on seeing her. Our girl tells her that she is making her blush. She wonders whether Lex would like her dressing. She is so nervous. At the wedding venue, our girl arrives and someone announces her presence. Everyone looks towards her directly, exclaiming about her beauty. The male lead looks intently at her. He doesn't want to take his eyes off. She walks to him and he tells her that she looks so wonderful. She replies that he also looks different today. He replies that it's their marriage, so he should dress his best. Standing in front of the hall, the marriage ceremony begins. The priest asks the male lead if he wishes to take our girl as his wife. He says yes. The priest asks our girl the same question and she says yes too. The priest proclaims them husband and wife and also king and queen of the demon kingdom. The male lead places a ring on her finger. He tells her that as she has finally become his wife, the ring would help protect her life. He kneels and gives her a kiss. The crowd cheer them up, saying they would live long. And so her life as the demon king's wife begins now. Only invited guests attended their wedding. They gave them various gifts. A couple comes to present their gifts. Our girl sees their differences and feels they are interracial couple. They present their gifts to them. 70% of the guests are demons. The rest are representatives from other races. She looks the male between them. His wings are so big, she has never seen someone with wings like that. But if they were invited, that means Lex trusts them. They aren't that many guests invited by him. What she feels is for their own safety. Chloe comes to congratulate them. She is walking with a male. Our girl looks at him and feels that he is the one that she was talking about earlier. She asks Chloe, and she nods slowly. It's mealtime. At the table, someone toasts to the successful marriage of the male lead, and our girl and they begin to drink. Lex tells everyone to eat to their heart's content. They are all happy and begin to eat. Lily is sitting next to him. He tells her to try and eat a lot. She replies that she has eaten enough, and any more than this would make her stomach explode. Our girl looks at the table. It is only those who live in the castle that are eating here. It feels so friendly in here. No special treatment at all. Everyone is eating at the same table. Someone tells Kenzo to watch how he eats, that he is in front of the king. He immediately apologizes, saying that the meal is too good, that is why he is eating like that. Our girl looks around and notices something. She is smallest one there. They are muscles everywhere, and she is just there. Suddenly, the male lead holds her and brings her closer to him. He begins to hold her and she flinches. She asks him what he is doing, asking him if he would not eat. He replies that he is full already and now he wants her. She tells him that it shouldn't be now. He replies yes, that he wasn't planning to do it now, but he tells her to prepare herself. This word scares her. In her mind, she tries to call for help. He looks at her and winks, telling her that she looks beautiful, that she is usually gorgeous, but looks more breathtaking today. That he is so glad she finally became his wife, that he has finally achieved his dream because of this. She tells her to stop and eat his food. He replies that he wants her instead of the food. She takes a piece of food to his mouth, telling him to get his mind off those kind of thoughts. He begs her to feed him again. She refuses, saying he should do it himself. Arian and Kenzo watches as they display affection. Later that night, the time Lex has been waiting for have finally arrived. He's on the bed waiting. As she enters the room, he beckons on her to come, smiling. He looks happy. Our girl looks at him. Now that they have finally married, she has to fulfill her responsibility as a wife. But she is so nervous. He notices her tensed body and tells her to be calm and not be tensed. She suggests that she should go and take her bath first. He tells her that it's not necessary now, that can do that later. He asks her if she wants to have children. She asks him why he is saying something like that. He tries to tell her that they need to discuss it because they're about to get intimate. She covers his mouth, saying she knows it already, that he doesn't have to say it. She replies that for now, she can't afford to think about that, saying that she's not even sure how exactly she should live in this world. She feels it's not the right time to think about children. He touches her chin and tells her that he knew she would say something like that. He tells her that it's a good choice she has made. Do they talk about it when she is ready? He continues, saying that it might take a year, 3 years, or even decades, adding that even if she decides not to have kids, he would still respect her decision. She tells him that she doesn't mean it that way, that she really wants to have kids, but now is not the right time. Immediately, he gives her medicine, saying she should swallow it. She asks him what it would do. He replies that it won't let her to get pregnant. Pushing her down slowly, he asks her if she is ready. If she is ready, she appeals to him to go slowly with her, since it's her first time. He smiles and tells her that she's right if she means it's her first time after she lost her memories. He tells her to get ready. Our girl is seen on the bed lying down. It's now the second day after the wedding. She looks around tiredly. She wonders what time it is. All she has been doing is keeping Lex company. She's still sleepy. Her body is tired all over. She turns and finds the other side of the bed empty. Lex must have gone to work. Last night, he complains to her, telling her that he doesn't like it that he has to go back to work the next day. She tells him that they've spent all day in the room, that his workload might be piling up by now. He tells her that Ariane's there taking care of it. She holds his face and reminds him that they both plan to make the kingdom a better place. She wants to also get back to learning magic. He feels she is right. She tells him that they could also do it another day. He tells her that he will try to get back home as early as possible daily. He decides to do it again, back to present. So is that how one's first night is? Her body feels tired, but she liked it. She springs up, wondering why she is recalling it now. At any rate, she's Lex's wife now. She looks at the ring, thinking, it's the ring that he said can protect her. She wonders if she can leave the castle safely. She wonders where she should go. It seems so dangerous outside the castle, and she needs it's already here. She sits on the chair, still thinking. Her job here is to help Lex cleanse his kingdom from evildoers. She decides that she won't just laze around all day. She wants to go take her bathe first. As she stands up, she discovers that the whole of her body is paining her. She cries in pain. Later that evening, she's busy reading a book. Ariane comes in and informs her that the male lead has invited her to dinner. She's about to reply that she'll be there when she lets out a little scream. Ariane is scared. He asks her if she is all right. She tells him that her knee hurts badly. He immediately informs her that he'd go and get Chloe. As he steps out of the room, Kenzo runs to him and asks him what is happening with Lily. He calls her princess. Ariane reminds him that she is a queen now. Kenzo replies that he would keep calling her princess because it sounds cute, adding that he's a big fan of hers. Ariane walks away, telling him to be careful in order not to say that. In front of the male lead, he tells him to stand guard while he rushes to go and call the king. Walking away, Ariane comments that he knows what is happening to our girl, that when she came here first, she was like that as well. He feels the male lead should have been more careful. Kenzo hears this and asks him what is making our girl sick. He replies that it's not for little kids to know. He gets to Chloe's room and enters. He tells her that she is needed in our girl's room immediately, that she is in pain. Chloe is surprised, wondering if she is hurt. She immediately runs to get the portion of drugs she had prepared earlier. She is happy that she still has some left. She has to make another one later. Ariane watches her moving around, panicking. He tells her not to panic, that there's no need for that. He informs her that he'd go and tell Lex that he should eat dinner in his room for now. He goes to tell the male lead. He enters and apologizes for entering without permission. He tells her that Lily is sick. Lex is agitated. He asks what happened. Ariane tells him that it's the same thing that happened to her the time he brought here. He tells him to say it. Ariane tells him that he was intimate with her too hard. He reminds him that Lily hasn't fully recovered her strength. Lex becomes sober and sees wisdom in what Ariane is saying. He feels he could have paid closer attention to her condition. The male lead tells him that he loves her so much that he'd die if he stopped touching her. Ariane tells him not to strain her too much. He tells the male lead that there's something important he needs to know, that there's a guest that wants to meet him, that she has been waiting for the past 2 days in an inn nearby. The scene shows 2 maids walking in the hallway. They're both talking about a cake our girl gave to them. The male lead appears in front of them and asks them what they're holding. They reply that it's a cake given to them by our girl. They add that everyone has theirs. He's shocked everyone has theirs and he doesn't have any. He quickly rushes to her room and tells her that he wants what she deserves. She agrees with him and tells him to wait for a minute. Walking to the bathroom door, she opens it and tells him to come in. Ariane tells the male lead that she's the person he has been avoiding to meet for a very long time. Lex tells him to inform the person that he'd be able to meet her the next day. He walks away, saying he's going to the Lily's room. Ariane bows as he leaves. He looks at the table and notices that the male lead didn't finish his work. Now he'd have to finish where he left off. In our girl's room, Chloe tells her that she must be tired from yesterday. She gives her a portion to heal her body's fatigue. Our girl collects it and thanks her. She also apologizes for always keeping her busy. Chloe tells her not to worry, that it's her work, after all. Our girl asks her if all newlyweds behave the way she did. The doctor replies that she doesn't know, that she hasn't been married before. She assures her not to worry, that the medicine would help her ease her body and also increase her stamina. Our girl asks if Lex is waiting for her. Chloe tells her that the last time Ariane went there, the male lead wasn't present, so he'd have to go again. Footsteps can be heard outside. The door opens and the male lead walks in. He asks her if she is hurt. He enters fearfully, asking if he went too far yesterday. Our girl feels a little embarrassed because Chloe is there. She tries to wink at him, but he doesn't take notice. Chloe advises that our girl take a rest for the time being, that she have treated her with medicine, but she would heal faster if she sleeps more. He asks her if she has any other portions to increase our girl's stamina. Chloe replies that she only knows of that brew, but she promises to ask Servada that she's sure he'd have more potent portions. The male lead gives her the go-ahead to ask him about it. Our girl feels that she is referring to the doctor that she told him about earlier. Chloe tells the male lead that the doctor is always so busy that she hardly sees him here, that he spends most of his time in the city's clinic than in the castle. The male lead feels they should summon the doctor here someday, that he is sure the doctor has a lot of recipes that would increase our girl's strength. That way, she'd last even longer when they're doing it. Lily tells him not to talk like that. In front of Chloe, the male lead tells the doctor to leave. Chloe feels jealous. Looking at them makes her want to marry. Lex tells our girl to rest today, that they're going to meet someone the next day. Our girl wonders who it is. The next day, they're meeting with the lady. It's an old woman, Lex's relative. The woman comments that she have heard so much about our girl, but unfortunately, reality doesn't match with what she has heard. She continues, saying that she is tardy, that she kept her waiting for so long and finally arrived here at noon. Our girl doesn't know what to say, so this is the reason Lex was skeptical about the meeting. A few hours ago, they woke up late that day, and she complains to Lex, saying they wouldn't have done it last night, now they both overslept. She quickly rushes to the wardrobe looking for what to wear. He told her the previous day that they're going to meet his relative. The male lead, still on the bed, tells her that the woman is her grandfather's younger sister, that he usually calls her Granny. That the woman agrees with his view that the demon race must work together with other races to achieve peace. But that doesn't mean she's a pleasant person to have around. He warns her that the woman's word can really hurt. He tells her that if she still doesn't feel too well, he can postpone the meeting. She replies that she is fine, that she wants to meet the woman because she's his family. He blurts out that he wished he never knew her, that she's a Normed, she prefers living in the wilderness, that he's surprised himself that she even came here. He continues, saying that she doesn't like it here, and most importantly, she doesn't like him. She asks him why, and he says he doesn't know. He adds that he also doesn't like her for some reasons. She tells him that she's still going to meet her, that she married him, so the woman is also her family. She tells him that she'd go take her bathe now. He stops her, suggesting that they bathe together so that they'd save time. She agrees. Our girl is regretting. She wonders why she even believed him in the first place. Bathing with him took more time than usual. Sipping his drink gently, the male lead begs her to forgive them, saying that they're newlyweds, so she should understand. adding that someone who hasn't married yet would not know how it feels. This is side comment directly to the grandmother. The woman is angry and calls him a rascal. He smiles and tells her that he thought he's being real and polite. From the way they discuss, our girl knows that they don't get along. There's another person sitting quietly, eating. He has ears like a wolf, and our girl wonders if he's a wolf. The old woman addresses our girl, saying that she heard that she lost her memory, so she asks if she remembers who she is. Our girl replies that she is the younger sister of Lex's grandfather. The woman tells her that she's wrong. Our girl is surprised. The male lead comes to her aid, telling her that she is right, but the woman doesn't want to accept it. The woman tells her that she is Amber, that what she said earlier is her position in the family and not her name. Lily is forced to accept. Amber points to the male that looks like a wolf and introduces him as her foster child, Zirun, half werewolf and half demon. Lex comments that he is much suited to be called her grandson than her child, adding that he is around his age. Amber replies that the decision is for her to take. She turns to our girl and asks her if she doesn't remember anything about Lex. The male lead replies that she is starting to remember him. Amber asks about the spells too, and he replies that Lily can relearn them. She turns to our girl and tells her that if she was her, she'd turn and run away instead of marrying a stranger. Our girl is surprised by that statement. She turns to the male lead and tells him that if she was in his place, she would have gotten rid of people who are not useful to her. She asks him why he kept her when she has lost her spell, asking if he didn't marry her because he needs her magic. The male lead tells her that she is forgetting something, that he doesn't care about magic, that if our girl stays alive and well, that's all that matters to him. As our girl hears this thing, she blushes. She tells Amber that the male lead has been so kind to her, that he always patiently reminds her of things she couldn't manage to recall. She tells her that Lex loves her so much that there is no way she wouldn't fall for him. Amber looks on, lost for words. She tells the male lead that she now knows why Lily married him, that as a pixie, she is already defective, not even with any wings. While he is a rich, her son stops her in her track, telling her that she is making the couple uncomfortable with her talk. Amber replies that they are always uncomfortable with her. She stands up and begins to leave the room. She tells them that she is going up, that she only came here to visit. As she walks, her son tells them to forgive her, that she is not good at saying what she really feels, that what she says isn't truly what she feels. The male lead replies that he already knows how Amber talks, that she never tries to think first before saying anything. The son replies that he is referring his words to his wife. He asks them to excuse him and thanks them for the food. As he walks out, Lex comments that they are both equally annoying. Our girl is deep in thoughts. Amber's words really hurt, but it has got her thinking she needs to study harder to regain her magic. She doesn't want to embarrass Lex. The next day, our girl offers him the gift and apologizes if the color is a bit different from his, that it was hard to mix the colors. He asks her what she just said. She tells him that they should start eating. He asks her how they are going to eat it. She replies that they would eat it by cutting it with a knife. She chops it off with a knife. He immediately turns his face away. She asks him what the problem is. He replies that watching her do that sent a chill down his spine. The scene shows Lex and Lily in the garden. He comments that Amber always pisses him off whenever she comes here. Our girl thinks about what just happened. Even though she is annoying, she is still family, Lex. But she has no choice but to accept her, no matter how bad she gets. But she tells him that his grandma has a point. She can't even use her magic. She feels she is useless. He tells her not to listen to what she said, that every time she opens her mouth, she always says something irritating, that she has no right to say those things. She asks him if he won't divorce her. He is surprised to say that. He carries her and tells her to always keep it in mind that he loves her, that she really loves her, that in fact if he would go mad if he wasn't with her, that he married her because he wanted her to be his, so she should never say the word divorce in his presence. He gives her a peck. He caresses her cheeks for a while and kisses her. She is relieved now. She feels lucky to have her. He thanks her. She tells him that she is going to keep studying so that she can use her spells again. Then she would finally become useful to him. A voice tells her that he can help her. They turn and see Ariane. He asks Lex if he remembers that he can also use magic, adding that just reading books won't be enough for her, that she also needs a teacher as well. Kenzo, who is standing behind, also tells her that he can help too. Ariane turns and reminds him that he can't even use magic. He replies that he still wants to help to Princess. Lex is surprised to hear him refer to Lily as the princess. Ariane whispers to him, reminding him that he had earlier told him not to use those words in front of the male lead. The male lead announces that he would allow it. Kenzo tells Ariane that he is overreacting. Ariane replies that the male lead gets jealous easily, that he should watch his mouth when he is talking about our girl. The male lead thinks about it. He feels he is Lily's husband, so he should try to also call Lily with a more affectionate word. He turns to Ariane and tells him that he can become Lily's teacher, that he should teach her all the spells that she knows. He accepts the task. The male lead turns to Kenzo and tells him that he should be his sparring partner. He accepts as Ariane walks away. He comments that he hopes he would still be alive by the end. Ariane tells our girl to follow him. She accepts. The male lead tells her to have fun studying. He calls her honey. Ariane takes her to the library. As they walk away, our girl is embarrassed. She feels Ariane must have heard it too. She wonders why Lex call her that. They enter the library and see a lot of book. She exclaims that there is a lot of book. Ariane tells her that it has been so long since the library has seen any visitor, apologizing for it being too dusty, that she has already told the servants to clean the place up. Our girl feels this place really needs more people. He offers her a sit and tells her that it has already been cleaned. She agrees. He tells her that they should start the lesson. He removes a book and shows it to her, telling her that the book is regarding offensive spells, that it is the type of spell he is adept with, that unlike her that can use a wide variety of spells, his own capabilities are very limited, that she will help her regain her ice spells. She collects the book and asks if she will be able to attack by freezing the opponent. He says yes, but he tells her that he would rather want her to conjure ice clees that can harm the opponent. She asks her if it isn't too much. He smiles and tells her that it would make her foes regret it. She opens to the book and he tells her that he didn't want her to read the book. She is surprised. She also finds it as a relief too. He tells her that she needs to know herself first before she can actually master spellcasting, that what they would be doing today is simply a discussion. He tells her to ask anything concerning magic, the male lead, or her previous identity. She is surprised to hear that. He tells her that he means it, that it's true reading books is a good way to learn, but it would be much easier if they do it while discussing. He continues, saying that from all his life that he has known her, she has always been an excellent student, always ranking first in class, while the male lead always ranked number 18 out of 15 students in the class. She laughs as she hears this. He tells her that it is as if the male lead is forcing her to read a lot of books, when he doesn't even like to read books. She replies that she already knew that from his appearance, that she is sure the male lead preferred physical classes. Ariane tells her that is the reason she can ask him anything. She agrees. There are a lot of things she wants to ask, but she wants to ask something that the male lead can't possibly answer. She asks him if she has any parents. She can't remember seeing them during her wedding. He tells her that her father passed away when she was a baby, while her mother passed away when she was about 13 years old. That he once saw her mother but never met her directly. She thinks about what she heard. She discovers that it is not really different from her past life. He notices that she doesn't look too surprised. She asks her if she remembers. She tells him that she knows that. She asks him to tell him how she lost her memories, asking if it happened when she also lost her wings. He says no, that those two incidents actually happened at different times. He asks him how much she knows about the incidents, wondering if the male lead told her. She tells him that she knows that pixies should have wings, that When she asks the male lead, he only told her that she lost her wings because of him, that some fragments of memories returned to him, but he is not sure if it's really her fault. Arion replies that he knew the male lead would say something like that the male lead always blames himself, when in truth it is not his fault at all. He tells her that the incident started when Lex was called to return to the Demon Kingdom, that his kingdom was in the middle of a civil war. The war was won by the male lead, but his parents passed away, and at that time, the enemy knew her whereabouts. They knew the male lead had a lover, which was she, that they chased her down the pixie village and attacked her, that she tried to fight back, but they far outnumbered her. That is what resulted to her wings being torn. He tells her that the male lead immediately caught up with her after she was treated and recovered in the pixie village. He then brought her here to live in the Demon Kingdom. She asks him if it was snowing at that time. She tries to recall what happened earlier in her past life. He is surprised. He asks her if she remembers. She wonders if that really was her memory. She tells him that she only saw it in her head. He asks her if she have seen anything else. She also saw the memory of her first night with the male lead, but there is no way she is going to tell him that. She tells him that that is the only thing she can remember so far. He tells her that if anything comes back to her memory again, she should tell him about it. She asks him how she lost her memories. He tells her that when she was in the middle of a ritual, an intruder came in and ambushed her. They injured her head and stabbed her chest, that it is a miracle they didn't hit her heart. She doesn't remember that, but instead she remembers when she was attacked in her previous world, how they attacked were the same too. She asks him what kind of ritual she was doing. He replies that it was something to strengthen her magic. She asks him if she can do something like that again. He replies that he doesn't know how she honed her magic skills, that she is the only one that knew the method to that. She looks at him. She has learnt a lot from him. She doesn't want to keep Lex's hands full. He asks her if she has any other questions. She replies no, that he can start teaching her the spells he knows. The scene shows the spear training session of the male lead and Kenzo. Lex beats him again for the second time and becomes frustrated. He tells Kenzo to use his full strength. That he chose him to become Lily's bodyguard because he's one of his mightiest soldiers, despite his young age. Lily had picked him before she lost her memory. Years ago, when Kenzo was selected, the male lead and his wife had gone to see the new soldiers that just arrived. She draws his attention to Kenzo, telling him that he has a kind heart, that they'd surely need him in the castle. The male lead had replied that Kenzo is ranked among the top 10 strongest soldiers during the selection, but he is still so young, he feels Kenzo should be assigned as a guard at the border posts. He wonders if he is mentally strong to live in the castle. Lily had told him that Kenzo is physically and mentally strong with a pure heart, that if he needs a bodyguard, then it definitely has to be Kenzo. Back to present, Kenzo tells the male lead to forgive him, that he'd be more serious. He stands up and picks his arrow, announcing that he is ready. Lex is happy. He tells him to keep the focus and unleash all his strength as if he's up against an enemy. He continues, telling him that he has talent and he's quite a big fan of his wife, that he won't have any qualms beating up someone that is a fan of his wife, a man at that. He picks up his sword and tells him to defend himself, so that at least he won't get badly injured. Kenzo is terrified to hear that. Back to the library. Our girl tells Arion to start teaching her the spells he knows. He agrees with her and tells her that there's something she must know. He tells her that they possess different magic element, that her own is ice and his own is wind. He continues, saying that the way they work is the same, that what she should do is simply to focus her energy on one point. Seeing as they're in the library now, he only has to focus his energy on a single finger. He uses his spell to carry a book up. She is amazed. She commends it, saying it's cool. He replies that her magic is 100 times cooler. He tells her that he is an elf, so his spells are quite limited. He adds that he's also quite skilled in sportsmanship. He tells her that she could say he can do a lot of things, but he doesn't want to see himself as an expert. She tells him that he's still amazing. She asks if Lex can do any magic. Arion tells her that the male lead cannot use magic, though his mother was a pixie. She tells him that she once saw the male lead release a spell once in the prison when he was protecting her. He replies that it's because of his sword, that the sword was created by his mother. He continues, telling her that she can also imbue her spells into a weapon or object, adding that the dungeon's key is one of her creations. She is surprised to hear. She wonders if she can really do it. At that moment, she begins to release ice spells, and he congratulates her. Suddenly, she freezes the entire library. She's scared and agitated. He tells her to calm down, that he'd take care of it. He suggests that they should train in the fields tomorrow instead. The door opens, and the male lead walks in. He asks her if she is okay. She tells him that she just froze the library. He pats her head and tells her that she has done a great job. She is surprised that he isn't angry. She just ruined the library. He tells her that it means her powers is coming back. She looks at him. She feels he is so supportive. She feels so happy. He carries her up, telling her that she must be tired after releasing that amount of power. He suggests that they should return to her room. She asks about the library, and he tells her that Arion will take care of it. At that moment, Kenzo walks in. His face is full with bruises, and Arion notices it and asks if he can still work overtime. Kenzo doesn't know what to answer. Arion asks him if he is okay. He is thinking about calling Chloe. As they walk in the hallway towards her room, he asks her how she is feeling. She replies that she is fine, but just tired. She tells him that learning magic with Arion was really fun, that he told her a lot of new things. He asks her what the new things are. She wants to tell him that she learned a lot about him, but he's too shy to say it. She tells instead that she learned a lot of things like magic, so that she was able to do that earlier. He agrees with her, dropping her at her door. He urges her to go back to her room, that he still has some work to do, that Arion or Kenzo would come soon. She looks at him for a while and says, okay. He looks at her and bends to give her a kiss. He tells her that he is sad that he has to go to work. She pushes him gently away, telling him that he has to work, that he was off work for way too long. He replies that he has only rested for 3 days. He urges her to kiss him again. As she walks inside her room, he stands for a while thinking. He wishes he could help Lily increase her stamina. He wonders what he should do about it. The next day, the male lead is in his office. He is distracted, and Arion, who notices it, tells him to focus on his job, that something is occupying his mind. The male lead tells him that our girl couldn't release her magic again this morning. He continues, saying that he didn't do it with her last night, that he didn't have the chance to wake her up. He adds that he is weak against that sweet sleeping face of hers. He is worried. He complains that he still hasn't met Vada ever since the wedding, now that he needs his medicine so much. He asks Arion what he thinks would refresh Lily instantly, and he replies that a massage would do. He adds that he has a female massage therapist in mind, and she's not a rebel, too. The male lead commands him to summon the lady and also call Chloe to keep watch inside. So our girl is chilling in her room when the door suddenly opens. In walks this woman, and right behind her are Chloe and Arion. The woman steps forward and says she's been called in by the male lead himself to give our girl a massage. She says it like it's this huge honor, like she's super proud to do it. Our girl is kind of taken aback, not really expecting that. She glances over at the woman and notices how strong her hands look. Like, for real, her hands are toned, especially for a woman. Then Chloe jumps in and says she's planning to stay and keep our girl company. Just hang out while the massage is going on. The woman quickly assures everyone that she's not shady or anything. She's just following orders from the male lead, nothing more. Chloe tries to explain again that this was totally the male lead's idea, but before she can finish, our girl cuts her off. With a small smile, our girl tells the woman that she actually enjoys having people around. She says it makes her feel happier, more at ease. So, she tells both Chloe and Arion to stay. No need to leave. The more the merrier. The woman is gently massaging her, hands moving with practiced ease. Our girl lies on the bed, enjoying it, calm, with just the soft sound of hands working on tense muscles. The woman leans in a bit and tells her to let her know if she's being too rough. She admits she doesn't get to massage pixies very often, so she's kind of playing it by ear. Our girl smiles and reassures her, saying she's doing great. Honestly, she never imagined the male lead would actually go out of his way to call a therapist just for her. Like, where did that even come from? The thought makes her pause. It's so peaceful and relaxing right now. Her mind starts drifting, trying to remember the last time she even had a proper massage. It's been ages, probably. The woman chuckles and tells her that she must be really exhausted after the first night. She points out the obvious. The male lead is literally the strongest guy in the whole kingdom. Not to mention the crazy difference in size between the two of them. That alone would wear anyone out. But she tells her not to worry. She's got this. She's a pro when it comes to recharging people's bodies, knows all the right spots, all the tricks. She then says she actually wanted to give her a stamina potion too, but unfortunately, she didn't bring it along. Our girl doesn't mind, though. She mentions that Chloe already gave her some kind of medicine earlier. The woman raises a brow and lets out a little laugh, saying Chloe is clumsy and, well, not exactly the brightest star in the sky. She continues saying that she still wonders how Chloe became a royal doctor. She now remembers she was chosen because she was a female, and also she is Dr. Vada's disciple. That back then, the male lead was looking for a female doctor to be our girl's personal doctor. She adds that Chloe still has much to learn, that she's not fit for that position. Our girl wonders why she said that in front of Chloe. She tells the woman that what she just said now is not true, that Chloe has performed her duty wonderfully well, that she's always there for her and is dependable. The woman still has some reservations, but refuses to argue. She turns to Chloe and tells her not to be upset, that she's just being honest about her. Chloe replies that there's no problem. After a while, the woman announces that she is done with the massage and begs to be excused. Later on, our girl chats with Chloe, and she just straight up says that the woman they met earlier is super rude. But at the same time, she's got to admit, her skills are no joke. She's seriously talented. Chloe nods and explains that the woman was actually her teacher back when she was still in school. That makes our girl widen her eyes a bit, and she jokes that Chloe's school life must have been really rough, having someone like that as a teacher. Chloe laughs and admits that, yeah, the woman definitely knows her flaws. A lot of them, actually. But now she's learning under Sir Vada, and he's her teacher. She says she still has a long way to go before she can be anywhere near his level. Then she gets a little more serious and tells our girl something kind of personal. She was the one who chose her back then. It's true that she's the only female doctor around this area, but still, the male lead could have easily sent someone out to search for another female doctor in some faraway town. But instead, our girl chose her. That stuck with her. She smiles and says she's really thankful to be working under someone like her. She adds that she's going to work even harder from now on, because one day she wants to surpass Sir Vada. That's her big goal. Our girl looks at her with a soft smile and tells her she's already the best in her eyes. Chloe lights up hearing that, like it really meant something to her. You can tell it makes her day. After meeting Lex's grandmother and that massage therapist, she starts to feel a weird kind of heaviness. Like, sure, they're not rebels or anything dangerous like that, but they're definitely not kind people either. There's this coldness about them that sticks in her mind. It makes her realize something important. They're not that different from the people she left behind in her old world. The attitude, the judgment, the way they look down on others, it all feels way too familiar. That thought keeps playing in her head, and it makes it super hard for her to focus on anything, especially studying. She starts doubting herself, wondering if she even has what it takes to become a good queen. She finally pushes the books aside with a sigh and decides she needs a reset, something calming, something that brings her peace. Sewing. Lex is busy with work right now, but still, a part of her really wants to see him. So yeah, after she sews for a while, she's totally going to go find him. Lily is sitting down, sewing away, focused and in the zone. After a while, she pauses and looks at her work. feeling like she's done enough for the day. It's almost lunchtime anyway, and she's starting to feel it. She stands up, heads to the door, and as she opens it, she spots Ariane and Kenzo right outside. Kenzo quickly tries to hide something behind his back, clearly caught doing something he probably shouldn't. She laughs a bit and says she didn't even know he was eating. Kenzo looks a little guilty and starts explaining himself right away, saying sorry and that he knows he shouldn't be eating there. He adds that he skipped breakfast because he was busy working, so now he's just trying to grab a quick bite. Ariane, standing next to him, looks like he's silently screaming inside. You can tell he thinks Kenzo's talking way too much. He cuts in, a little impatient, and asks Lily what she wants. She doesn't mind the awkwardness and casually asks where Lex is planning to eat lunch today. Ariane tells her Lex will be having his lunch in his office. Lily lights up a bit and asks if she can be the one to take it to him. Ariane shrugs and says sure, but adds that he still needs to go grab the food from the kitchen first. Without missing a beat, Lily says she wants to come with him, and Ariane gives her a quick nod, agreeing to let her tag along. As they head toward the kitchen, he starts talking to her about how things usually work around the castle. He explains that the kitchen mainly cooks for the male lead and everyone else who lives there. But when it comes to the soldiers who are out on missions or stationed far from the castle, they've got to hunt their own food. There's no kitchen service for them out there. Then he goes on, saying they always try to avoid buying food from outside. The reason is pretty serious. They never know when the rebels might try to poison something. It's actually happened before. The scary part is that new recruits have a hard time telling what's safe to eat and what's not. They just haven't learned the signs yet. But he and Kenzo, they've been around long enough. They know what to look for. They can tell when something's off. At Lex's office, he is very busy with work that he doesn't notice who comes in and serve the lunch. He mutters thank you to the person, and our girl replies, that's when he realizes. He is shocked. She smiles and tells him that they should eat, that he brought it here for him. They both sit and begin to eat. He asks her how the massage went, and she replies that it was okay, that all her fatigue disappeared instantly. He is happy to hear that, adding that it's quite hard to find a female massage therapist. He thanks her for the food. As she hears this, she decides not to tell him that the therapist was rude. If she says that, then he would go and find someone else, and it won't be easy for him, as long as they're not rebels. She just have to forgive them. He smiles and tells her that he is happy he had to eat lunch with her, that food tastes 100 times better now than it usually tastes. She tells him that she can cook for him next time. He is happy to hear that, saying he cannot wait to give it a taste, adding that he'd eat her after that. She quickly feeds him to stop him from saying it clearly. She tells him to focus on eating. After they're done, he goes back to his working table. She asks him what she can help him with. He replies that she just have to sit there, that looking at her would give him the energy to finish his job. She is insistent, saying that she knows he hates doing paperwork, that she can help him. He is surprised that she remembers that. Then, he remembers that Ariane must have told her. She asks him how she can work on it. He asks her if she's sure she wants to help. She replies that she is sure, that she's used to doing a lot of paperwork. In her previous world, she became the best employee. It wasn't pleasant. She didn't get a raise, but a lot of people asked her to do their job. But if it's Lex, she doesn't mind. She tells him to leave the work for her to do. He still doesn't want to, replying that he knows she can do it, but it's his job. She persuades him, and he finally accepts. He shows her how it is done, and she takes it to go and do it somewhere else. If you're eager for the next chapter, drop a comment expressing your interest in a part 2. Don't forget to subscribe and ensure to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Until next time.